All right, so yeah, you'd gone in. They had ground the mighty cogs to close the massive, thick stone doors. As soon as they shut behind, the dwarves all looked at each other and went, got in a crouched military defensive stance and slowly begin to march towards you. Alrighty. What do you guys want to do in regards to reactions to this?
I'd fall into a fighting stance because I'm not sure what the hell's going on, but I'm not gonna try to hit anybody. I'm just gonna get ready.
All right, so Marlowe drops down into a low wassa stance.
I'm gonna stand up straight, like holding my staff, just waiting for them to approach.
Okay.
Take a half a step back, and I have my shield in my hand, but I'm not my mace is sheathed, I guess, or is on my belt.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hold a hand out, like, whoa.
All right. Beecham nervously kind of takes a step back and puts his right hand on his rapier, like poised and ready, but he hasn't drawn his weapon yet. Okay, the dwarves continue to march closer towards you. As they do so, they begin to kind of start to fan out to create more of a line. Any reactions from you guys?
I'm going to say in Dwarvish, is this how you greet all your potential dwarf friends?
Right, the two in the middle look at each other, and one of them replies back to you in Dwarvish. Yes, it is.
We're not here to fight you. On the contrary, we have information you might think useful, given my party's past friendship with you people.
You people.
I do.
What's that all about?
No, I guess I don't understand anything you're saying right now.
Yeah, if you can't speak Dwarvish, then no, you don't. All right. Okay. He looks at you and he says, "We have yet to ascertain if you're friend or foe. Now, relinquish your weapons in the name of the Lord of the Hall and the Marshal of the Mountains. Then we can determine whether or not you're to be treated as honored guests or slung from the walls."
This is all in Dwarvish, right?
Yep.
Alright, so I'm going to turn to everybody and say, they want our weapons so they can then ascertain whether we are truly friends or foe. Marlowe, maybe just keep your hands behind your back. You know?
What?
Your weapons.
I'm gonna take my pack off and hand it to him because it does have some weapons in it, but
I mean, yeah, just your hands are worse, so more deadly.
They don't need to know that.
Yeah. Just because they have been speaking in Dwarvish, they clearly do speak Common and have just heard all of that. So now they know.
Of course.
Whether they knew it before or not is irrelevant, because now they do. Okay.
I'm gonna remove my mace and put it on the floor in front of myself, and then take my shield and strap it on my back. You know, so it's like
Beecham reaches down into his boot and pulls out his long dagger, and flings it to the ground, and then reluctantly pulls out his rapier and drops it.
Seeing that, I'm like, oh yeah. So I take my dagger out and kind of flick it over.
Alrighty. Okay, the two outside dwarves move in and pick up your weapons. They gather up. One of them picks up the rapier, the dagger, and Kealiana's staff. The other one picks up the backpack and Radovan's mace. And then with that, they kind of move further to the side away, kind of removing themselves from your immediate reach so you can't grab them or the weapons. And at which point the other two dwarves then much more brazenly stomp up to you with a slightly lowered guard. They're still kind of holding their shields high, but they're not glaring over the top of them. They're just more carrying them on, directly in front. And the hammers are now kind of a little bit lower. Okay. The dwarf that was speaking before, he says, in Common this time, "I suppose, so as not to be rude, we should transverse in a language that everybody can understand."
I was just going to suggest that, my friends, as I do not profess to speak for everybody here. They have their own voices, their own mind.
He says, "So, what brings you four strangers to the doors of Cairnemoore?"
Carvarik. Never heard that name before.
So you don't know who we are? You stumble upon the great walls of our city by accident, did you?
No, we have intentionally sought you out, for we bring news from the lowlands, and a potential threat that, while it might not threaten this wonderful fortress of fine craftsmanship, it could make travels outside a little bit more precarious and difficult.
We
bring warning, if anything.
Keep ourselves mostly to ourselves. Traveling outside this city is not something we tend to do often or lightly.
But it has been done before, for we have met and befriended your ilk outside.
Have you indeed? And pray tell, who from the city of Cairnemoore have you met before?
Long ago, in south of the Tri-Crown Mountains in Arconis, we befriended traveling bands, Carrick and Gaffer Bronzebeard.
Gaffer
Nice.
Bronzebeard?
Remembered it.
And company. And then most recently, we've met his cousin outside of Dunedin, in the forest to the east of Dunedin.
Nice.
This Bronzebeard you speak of, a lowly fellow then?
Lowly.
Lowly. Absolutely not.
Well then, I'm afraid he told you a tale. For the Bronzebeards are not known for their great valor, or prized for their skill with a hammer, or even with their ability to mine with a pick.
This is not the story we were told.
As I said, sounds to us like you've been spun a tale.
Or
Why
you're
would
spin.
Yeah, why
Go
would
ahead.
someone spin such a tale to us?
There are such things as oath breakers amongst dwarves.
Oh,
The lowest of the low. The scum of the earth. Those that do not deserve to shite upon the very mountain that they dare walk upon.
What happened? What oath did he break?
I do not know whether this man's name resides upon the Book of Grudges.
I'm sorry, but Carrick was a priest, I believe. And they were very helpful to us in a time of great need.
Well,
We helped them, and they swore their lives to us likewise, and we fulfilled our mission with their help. They were instrumental.
he was a
what-
priest of Dumathoin.
I'm honestly unfamiliar with that god.
Dumathoin
mentioned
is
it.
the great dwarven god of mining and exploration. The high priest,
He had his
Cargill, lives here in the temple.
he had his powers, and you say he's possibly an oath breaker? That doesn't make sense to me. For I know firsthand what happens when one breaks their oath to their deity.
Well, it makes no sense to me either. But if you're going to come here and tout the name of Bronzebeard and expect it to carry any form of weight, I can tell you that the Bronzebeard, while not necessarily a disgraced family per se, they are not counted, as I said, among those considered strong of arm, strong of mental prowess, or mining ability.
I'm gonna lean into Radavan and say, what was the name of the dwarven prince?
Fuck. I
Prince
honestly.
Fox
I was
never walked the earths of these halls, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Is that why you come here? Seeking some form of audience or a reacquaintance with Bronzebeards? For if so, I can direct you to the stable.
Gaffer.
Damn, this guy's slinging shade.
Ironbeard?
Ironbeard.
Ah, no,
That's
Ironbeard would be
that's
a
what it
different
is.
name
Those fucking
altogether.
Ironbeard. Jesus Christ,
Oh,
I
I
got
wrote
them
it down.
confused.
Alright.
We
I wrote it
heard-
down too, but I couldn't find the thing that I wrote it down on. I got it confused with the
I
bronze
love
beard.
it. We had a kind donation just come in
Fuck.
from Blood
Jane,
Splatter. We'll read that
thank
in
you.
just a minute.
Thank you, Jane. Jesus Christ.
Oh God, I'm thinking we're coming.
Oh, that was so
coming in,
funny
giving
because
them.
I'm like, this is gonna go so great. All right, he says, word had reached us several years ago that Lord Gaffer Ironbeard was dead. Is this the truth? It seems
Look-
remarkably strange to me that a man as regal and as bold and as striking as Lord Gaffin Ironbeard did not impose himself enough that you'd remember his name so eloquently, and in fact would get him confused with a Bronzebeard. If he were alive today, such an
Radovan's
insult
been
would
hit in the
not
head a
go
lot.
unpunished, I feel sure of
past
that.
year.
We apologize. We have met many travelers on the road the past several years. It's been at least 3 years since we have met Gaffer Ironbeard. Man.
So, yes. Over 5 decades ago, Lord Gaffer Ironbeard led a expedition far to the southwest. Him and some of his kin, and indeed Prince Scale Eriksson, set up a hold in the mountains near the deserts. Far, far from here, as I see it, to the southwest.
That is where we hail from,
As
and
far
we
as
did
we
run
know,
into them.
the hold still stands.
What the what?
Joe Colton, thanks for the resub, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
thanks,
man.
Joe.
Much love, dude.
So I'm actually
Spam
going.
your hype and spam your pants off.
You're gonna see. I'm gonna have my shoulders kind of slumped, and I'm shaking my head to myself, and I'm taking another step back behind
Oh.
Kia.
No.
Like I because I realized what I just did, and I'm just like,
With that, okay, you've done that, so now they've kind of pretty much walked directly. Now they're addressing Kia more directly. Radovan has kind of fallen from grace, and now Kia's becoming the spokesperson. He says, "So
That's not good.
your armored friend. Perhaps he misspoke the name of the priest that was in the company of Gaffer Ironbeard as well.
Of course.
Likely.
Yeah.
What did you say his
been a
name
bit
was
confused.
again?
Long
Longshanks.
Carrick.
Carrick
Carrick.
Wart. Did you know his birth name?
No. Kia, just take over, please.
No, don't make me do that. I don't know.
So,
the only
miss.
name I have is Gaffer Ironbeard.
Do you know the correct name of the priest that your friend seems to struggle with?
God. I tried to divert the subject and say they sought me out in particular for my
Your big priest beard.
for my
beard.
abilities. For they were running around trying to save their prince from a curse.
Yes, I do recall this tale. Prince Scale Eriksson apparently was monster hunting, protecting the hold, and was struck by some foul creature, and he then himself became that which he destroyed. Lord Gaffer Ironbeard and some of his companions set out to find and slay the prince. and put his spirit to rest.
Correct. It turns out they needed a little extra help from us, and we assisted in saving him.
So
He had turned into a Wendigo and was attacking the company at night. And any damage they dealt him, he vanished in front of them, reappeared, and they required the skills of a magic user.
I'm just gonna nod at that.
So you expect us to believe that the four of you were those four companions that joined Gaffer Ironbeard and his company?
The very
No.
same. No?
Well, Marlowe wasn't there, Kier.
Oh, yeah.
Neither was Beecham.
Neither was Beecham.
Oh, that would be
yes,
Sir Radovan and I.
Oh my
Unfortunately, it was not
god,
part
we're
of that
gonna
tale.
die.
Although you did just hear the door knocker knock. That's an impossible feat, and that was done by my friend here. I'm going to gesture towards Kia.
Well, I've heard enough to think that maybe you did not deserve to be thrown from the walls.
That's nice.
Give them back their weapons. So with that,
Nice.
the other dwarves kind of walk up and hand you back your staff, your bag, and your mace.
I'm going to give a half bow and
Thanks.
fumble with it. With
I would have
the
done without my bag.
The gesture is appreciated. Thank you.
So, man,
And
we know
we'll-
your names.
My name is Kieliana. This
Oh,
here,
Radovan Rainier.
Sir Radovan Rainier.
James Beecham. Just James Beecham.
Marlo Rayfell. I'm from Fujinami.
Fujina what?
Never mind.
Well, until such time that is deemed otherwise, welcome to our fair city. Welcome to the walls and the keeps of Carnavarak.
And thank you. It's a beautiful place.
Be warned. Do not break any laws while you're here.
What are the laws?
With
So
that,
we
they
can
turn
go
around and begin to walk back down the
Oh,
road.
shit. Can you spell the name of the city for me so I can say it correctly?
Yeah, it's Kar dash Varak, V-A-R-A-K.
V-A-R-A-K.
Yeah.
As they're walking away, I'm just going to turn to everybody and say, I'm sorry. Other races' names make no sense to me.
Well, you had about a 50-50 shot. It was going to be some kind of metal in the word beard.
Yeah.
What the what?
You were fairly close. Resub hype, thank you for that. Thesdacian, appreciate you.
Oh,
Radovan, I don't remember any of the names except the one.
No, but I just recalled all of them for that when we spun that tale before we met. What's his name? And the
I know
Skane.
you did.
Oh God, you don't know his name either.
No, he didn't remember. And, also, Peter Dester, thank you for hitting the sub button. Very much appreciate you as well. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. And Joe Colton also hit a resub. So, we very much appreciate you. And while I'm looking at it, I Big Bloodspatter said, 8 GP for Marlo Saki, 8 GP for Radovan Springwater since you graduated AA, 8 GP for Kia to buy Regents to make her own soap for non-acidic baths. Appreciate that, dude. Very much appreciate it. So, yes,
Thank you so
spam
much.
your pants off and spam your hype for our resubbers and our coin donor as well. There you go. All right. So, yeah, you are now inside the mighty city of Carnavarak.
I turn to both of them and say, remember that time? I don't think you were there, Marla, but Radovan got arrested
Probably not.
for drinking out in the
You
city.
got arrested?
It was entrapment, Marlo. I did indulge in the drink more than I do now, and I was told just to relax in Scarrow, and they had a law in place basically saying you can't be drunk in public during the day, during working hours.
So
and
you were drunk and you fell in a trap.
Which is why it scares me that we don't know the laws here yet.
Right, so find a tavern, find a drunk dwarf, see that they are drunk. Although, what time of day is it, actually, Gore, when we got here? Because
You want me to
It
find
was
a drunk
kind of like
dwarf.
late afternoon, so it's still, you know, you can still see outside. It's still daylight.
And, well, shit. I mean, let's just try to find a tavern, because
In a
we
dwarven
need
city,
food.
that's a near impossibility. Okay.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I mean, there are dozens of dwarves wandering around the city itself. Clearly, this is a very well-populated place. You see plenty of dwarves dressed the way that the 4 dwarves that welcomed you at the gate are dressed. Clearly, they are either some form of dwarven guard, military, watch, you know, police force. Obviously, some kind of authority.
I'm just going to start walking down the street and looking at the buildings, the architecture, and I guess what looks like flags.
I bet it's that one over there
Wow.
with the mug on it.
Okay. All right, yeah, so the first thing you're noticing about the Dwarven City is it is remarkably clean. The streets
cool.
do not have any form of litter. There's no trash. No swill is thrown about, you know, out the windows or anything like that. It is very clean. As mentioned before, even though you are in a freezing cold climate, you can feel the wind chill on your back, but for the most part, there is no snow on any of the buildings, and there is a real kind of artificial warmth that seems to just flow down the streets. At times, you can almost feel it like gusts of hot air just blowing out of the side streets to the left and the right.
Can I follow that? I'm just curious what it is.
Sure. It's coming from both sides. You can go left or right.
I'll go right, because that's kind of where there's taverns on both sides, it looks like.
Okay, yep. So you venture down the side street. Most of what it looks like to you is most of the trade buildings all have banners and flags with symbols on that would seem to depict possibly the form of trade. The one directly to your, kind of like, the way you're facing over to your left has got like an etched green helmet on it. The one to the right has kind of a strange blue, almost mystical symbol on it. As you continue to follow the road south, there is a huge, large 3-story building in front of you, which does indeed boast a large tabard flag hanging down from the walls with a beer mug, predeming that it would be some form of tavern or inn. The kind of the culprit creating the heat becomes very much apparent to you at that same point, because to your left you can see humongous outdoor forges at work. The forges themselves there's a massive kind of like effigy of a dwarven head inside a helm. The mouth is wide open and is full of blazing coals. The eye sockets are radiating heat. There are smaller pits of coal around them, and dozens of dwarves are hammering away at various different metalworks all around in the outdoor area. The amount of heat coming from this thing is intense. By any normal forge or blacksmith's fire that you've seen before, this is probably 50 times that size. If you was to climb, I mean, all of you could climb into the mouth of the dwarven statue and swim around in the hot coals and still probably get another 20 or so people in there with you. Jacuzzi from hell.
Jesus
Yeah.
fucking
It's
Christ.
massive. So you can see tons and
Okay.
tons of like dwarves not wearing shirts, all pumping large, ginormous sets of mechanical bellows, while others just hammer at steel.
I've
All
never
male
seen anything
dwarves?
like this.
All of the ones here are indeed male, yes.
Okay.
Right. Directly in front of you, the tavern that you can see says, in very almost childlike writing above the door, scratched into a wooden plaque, says Giesel's Place.
Giesel's place. Seems friendly.
Giesel, Radovan, Giesel.
Marlo, I'm gonna stop you right there, Marlo. Remember, Iridian, when we went to the first tavern and it was that seedy shithole that you almost died in?
No.
Yes.
Maybe we should see if there's a good tavern and a bad tavern, you know? Like a rich
Just judging
tavern and
by
a
the
poor
name?
tavern.
This tavern is lawful good, this one is chaotic evil.
Should we stare through the window or walk in?
Well, I don't, maybe...
Well, I don't speak
okay,
Dwarvish. Does Giesel mean something bad?
Seeing as you've said that, Kia,
Just means the old
I won't make
geezer.
you make a spot check, because
Alright.
subconsciously, if you say, should we stare through the window, your eyes will be drawn to the windows. Which
Yeah.
there are none of.
Oh!
None. It is all
Yeah, we're like,
solid
stare through the
stone walls. There are no windows, not even on the upper floors that you would deem to possibly
What the?
hold rooms. It is just, there is a door,
Yeah.
a huge, big, thick oak door with reinforced steel bars and studs on it. The sort of door that you'd probably expect to find attached to a jail or some kind of keep. Not a tavern, but there definitely is no sign of windows.
I'm gonna point that out and say, why do you think? Are they trapped in there? Is it because of the cold? There's no windows.
I'm gonna start looking at
I
the...
would think this to keep the heat out.
I'm gonna start looking at the other buildings, like the back of this one and this one, that are... See if
Okay,
there are any windows there.
Pretty much no. There does not seem to be any buildings that you can see that have windows. It's like the dwarves
They
have
use
no
Linux.
use for them.
This keep is so fortified.
Maybe it's just their way of being underground without being underground. You know?
The other thing
It's
that you
to
can
create that
see,
homey feel.
is that Night
the
Striker,
what?
thanks for the resub, 17
Thanks,
months,
Knight.
much love, dude.
Maybe they don't have windows because they're in
Stab
a
your
building.
pants and your height.
They wanted to be out of the building. They would just walk out of the building. I don't see why you need windows.
Also, yes, in a fortress like this, I don't
You
think
can
they
also
fear
see,
danger.
like, going down behind the tavern, or in, whatever it might be, and kind of like traveling down behind the forge, there's an inner wall as well. Like, the city doesn't just have the exterior walls, but it seems to have like fortified walls within it.
Say, Radovan, how many people do you think this entire keep can hold? Like, how big is it?
Well, Kia, you're the only one that's really seen it from the aerial view, so...
Oh. How big is it?
Well, you can fit at least 30 people in the forge over there. So
I mean, it's pretty damn big. I mean, it's a city. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not just a small,
It's a city that keeps to itself. They obviously are mining in this mountain, so there's probably a place in this city where they can have access to the actual mountain paths and tunnels that they've made. They probably don't even need to exit, though. Maybe that's because those walls are never opened. I mean, because they don't need to go out there. So trying to convince them to help us, probably a more daunting task than we want to admit.
Maybe they can help in a different way then.
With like gear and equipment.
Beecham kind of
There's
glances
that.
to the left and the right as he kind of like walks in and he kind of puts one arm around Radovan's shoulder and one arm around Marlowe's shoulder and kind of like huddles you in, like pulls you closer to him and says, "Don't forget, we're not to discuss the other matter."
Right.
Wait, what?
And then he
Other
quietly
matter?
looks at Kier and goes,
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
scratch
nod
my
as I
head.
know exactly what he's talking about.
I forgot what he's
okay,
talking
seeing
about.
Kia's puzzled look, he's like, you see him roll his eyes and he walks over and then
Whoa,
kind of like
whoa,
puts
whoa,
one
sir.
arm around Kier and he says,
Beecham!
"The other thing, you know."
Michu, if she doesn't remember, let her not remember. It's actually good for us.
What if I just
But
shout
what if she
it?
suddenly remembers later?
I'm pretty sure she'll go, oh! Because I know Kia. She'll go, oh.
With that,
Kia,
he kind of lets
I don't
go
know what
and
you're
puts his
talking about
hands up.
either.
I know Kia. She'll go, oh.
Comes over to Radaman and he says, "Are you sure? I'm just saying. Perhaps we should find a more secure place to discuss it."
Agreed. Let's go inside this prison.
Oh!
Marlo said it. Still don't know.
All right.
Oh,
We
man.
all gotta get on the same page. And let's go inside and get a seat and hammer out what we're gonna do.
Oh!
It's like watching the penny just go like drop,
It's been a bit.
drop.
I'm slow.
Oh my gosh, you folk.
Wow. Did I call it though? I should
Bless
get
your heart.
inspiration for that.
Yeah, you should.
All right, let's take you into Giesel's place then.
The old Giesel.
All
That was
right.
good.
As you walk through the door of Giesel's place, it is clearly a drinking establishment, possibly an inn. Who knows? But let's go ahead and turn the volume up just a little on this. All right. Okay. As you step inside. Gonna go ahead and move you guys in, and then I'll move you to the map.
You guys. I fail at the names. You
guys.
fail at the fucking other thing. Oh, God.
I'm more knowledgeable.
All right.
Either.
So walking in, you can see a fairly large open bar room. To your right is a. Let me bring the volume down just a little. It's a little loud. Dwarves, shh. Thank you. That's better. We want you here. That's it. Okay. So to your right, you can see a large flight of stone stairs leading up to obviously the higher levels of the building. To the left are kind of like large stone tables that have stone benches on either side of them. In the center of the room are two smaller but more ornate stone tables with stone chairs. There's a large fireplace with, guess what, 4 stone benches with backs on. There is a stone ornately carved bar. Glancing
Damn.
around, just about everybody in this establishment is of dwarven ilk. You struggle to find maybe... Oh, there's a human over there sitting at this point.
Okay.
But he is the
okay.
only human in the tavern. A lot of these dwarves seem to be laborers. They are not wearing any form of armor, carrying no form of weaponry. They're kind of dirty. Some of them are coal-stained. But in general, they seem to be a very vibrant and kind of like enthusiastic sort of bunch. Probably at least half of them are 3 sheets to the wind, by your standards. Glancing over to the bar itself, presuming that Giesel is the man behind the bar, is a odd-looking dwarf. He has bright pink hair, a bright pink beard, and a blue dyed mustache that hangs all the way down to his nipples. He is a very flamboyant looking dwarf. He is wearing a green tunic with green shoulder pads, but that's kind of where the glorification of his dress ends, because much like most of the other dwarves in here, his arms are as thick as tree trunks, with a mass of black hair, as he feverishly is wiping off his bar and pouring drinks with one hand as he does so, and then slinging them, sliding down the stone to his various different patrons.
His beard is fabulous.
Hey,
That's Giesel.
You think so?
I was gonna
Well,
say,
he's standing in the place where I would think Giesel would be standing.
Okay, so
Could be his son. What's up, Rabbit?
The son of Giesel. Sounds like
Did
a
you want to
bad
say
B
something?
movie.
I was gonna say, let's go to what we presume to be Giesel and get what the laws of the land are. Maybe
Okay.
try to avoid sitting at a place that might be reserved for royalty or something, because who knows? Like, look at those middle seats. Be smart about it. Don't just sit
Okay.
down. They might take
Is
offense.
anyone giving us weird looks at all, or just ignoring us?
Oh, no. No one's really paying you any weird
Sweet.
looks. You got a few glances as you walked in, but
Okay.
nobody points fingers at you or ushers towards, it's not kind of like a Wild West scene when you walk in and everything goes quiet.
Yeah.
The music stops. Everyone's looking. The dog's looking. Yeah.
Someone punches somebody. All right. Yeah, let's go over there then.
I'm gonna slowly walk over.
All right.
I'm not gonna sit down. I'm gonna let the others sit down.
Okay, well, Beecham follows you over and plops down at the chair or one of the bar stools. Kind of awkwardly positioning himself because the things are like rock solid. There's no cushions on anything.
Marlowe's standing on the bench.
I'm sitting over here. There's a kitty by the fireplace.
Is that a kitty?
There's actually a cat. Yes, if you're paying attention to that, there is a cat on the only cushioned item in this entire thing. There's a blue cushion, a huge, big, fluffy blue cushion is sitting down on the stone hearth of the fire, and there is a bright yellow cat curled up on it. It has no markings at all. Like, there's no lines on it. It is just almost pure golden in color.
Wow.
I honestly didn't see that. I was looking at this and like, that's a cat.
Yeah,
Really
that's what I
forward.
thought
No.
too. It was like a pink cat.
No, I got distracted. I'm gonna sit over here by
that
the cat and watch
actually
it
looks
sleep.
like it's like a vase full of kind of like white and pink flowers. It looks so out of place. It's like in this overly mechanical stone manufactured environment, there's this one vase of color. Like, it breaks the mold. Kind of sort of like the owner of the tavern, Giesel, who also seems to break the mold when it comes to dwarven fashion and beers.
So I'm actually going to move over here and sit down, seeing Marlowe not.
All right, so Giesel kind of like, as he polishes the bar into your direction, he says, "So, new patrons, what can I get you then?"
Information, if you wouldn't mind, as well as a drink for everybody.
Well, of course, I'll tell you whatever you'd like to know. Welcome to Giesel's place.
Thank you.
The cat
person.
is Giesel.
So rare. Yeah, who's Giesel? I'm gonna ask. Who's
I
Giesel?
am the proprietor, Giesel Merrymall, at your service.
Oh, fuck, I don't have a pen.
I
Giesel!
Write it down. I'll write it down.
We have just arrived here, and we would very much like to know what the laws of the land are. The last thing we want to do is cause trouble, or
Oh, well,
inadvertently break something.
okay. While we talk about that, what can I get you to drink? How about a rockin' porter or some slab mead?
Let's do it.
That sounds great. Yes. One of each for each of us.
One of each for each of you.
Yes. It's
Oh,
been long
fair enough.
travel.
Have you tried the granite ale as well? Would you like one of those?
Maybe later.
I'm interested.
Fair
in
enough,
trying-
fair enough. So
Yeah.
4 rockin' porters and 4 slab meads. With that, he
Great.
goes to one of the kegs behind and pours skillfully 4 large flagons of metal flagons and throws them on the bar. Reaches behind him and decorks a bottle and pours 3 pretty large portioned glasses of the mead as well.
Alright. I'm gonna take a sip of it. Does it taste any different than normal?
It's a little bit more stout, yes. It definitely has more of a kick. The mead is far less sweet, although
Yeah.
it's sweeter than typical wine, but you would suspect it has less honey than most mead, and has clearly been fortified a little bit more than you're used to, your refined palate. The rockin' porter is as black as pitch, and you almost have to chew the stuff down. In fact, it doesn't really float around in a glass so much as kind of like roll around
Sludge
in the glass.
out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that itself, it's also fairly stout, but clearly not as strong as the mead.
Okay, that's so cool.
Oh,
With
that's
that, he
delicious.
looks at you and he says, "So, that'll be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 copper and 8 silver, please."
I'm gonna just give a gold piece.
All right. He picks and goes, "Oh, last of the big spenders, like 1 copper and 1 silver tip. I very much appreciate that. I'll treat myself to a drink later. Half of one, of course."
Well,
And
drink
puts it in his
now.
coffee.
With us and
So,
regale us with
information you said about the laws. Well, let's see. Don't break any. Don't break your word. Don't steal nothing. Don't
Okay.
start fights you can't finish. Oh, and mind your respect when it comes to dealing with the guildsmen. The Miners' Guild, Brewers' Guild, Jewelers' Guild, Smiths' Guild, such things as that. Oh, and do not forget to address people by their proper titles. They don't like that very much either. If you're in the presence, say, of the Lord of the Hall, Lord Bargrund Ironbeard, you want to address him as such, Lord of the Hall, or perhaps
Wow.
the Marshal of the Mountains, Skalfmere Durstock. Make sure you address him by the proper titles as well.
Did you say Iron
Getting all
Beard?
that shaggot?
Lord?
Lord Bargrund Ironbeard, Lord of the Hall, yes.
Bargrund.
Oh.
Is that the highest position here?
Oh, indeed, he is the Lord of the Hall, watches over all of Carvarak.
Oh, cool.
The Ironbeard name is one of great.
Should I get your
Great.
Great.
Renown.
Lord of the Hall. I gotta type this out because I don't want to fuck it up.
What's that you've got there? A typewriter? What the hell did you get that from? They haven't been invented
You knew
yet.
the name of it?
I didn't get most of that. So Jane, good luck. I hope you did.
How hard is it to
I'm-
speak to the
dude.
Lord?
Oh, the
Bargrund
Lord.
Ironbeard.
To even stand in the great hall before the Lord Bargrund Ironbeard is a great honour, and you'd have to earn it.
Can we get an introduction? Can we find someone who could give us an introduction?
Maybe, but I'm just a mere tavern owner. Member of the Brewers Guild, mind, but I couldn't afford you such an invitation or a recommendation. No, I am far too lowly a dwarf for that.
So I'm to assume you guys
You haven't
rarely
finished your
bench.
drinks. Come on, drink up.
We,
What are you,
I'll
children?
take some
Come
sips.
on.
I'll drink some kind of sheep like quickly, and then put it down and immediately go back to saying. So, you guys don't not get out much. That's the wrong choice of words. I mean, you don't venture beyond this mountain very frequently, do you? As people. I mean,
More than most dwarves. After
Because-
all, we do revere Dumathoin, the dwarven god of exploration. So from
Well-
time to time we have expeditions away from the mountains. Some of our
Because-
kin have travelled far to the south and the west. A few have travelled further north. Some
I love
farther
dwarves.
to the east.
because we actually have sought you guys out, for we have information about recent events that are going on around here that might be of concern to you.
He seems to be eyeing your glasses rather vividly. He goes,
I'm gonna start drinking.
"So you don't
again.
like the porter then?"
No, we do. I'm gonna drink
Take
more.
a big sip.
And the mead.
Take another big sip.
Okay.
You're gonna see me like alternating my porter and my mead. It's good. Please.
That's great.
Alrighty. So you start downing it. Even, Beecham is like just guzzling it as fast as he can and trying his best to down the stuff. He finally chews his way to the bottom of the rocking porter and then pours over and empties out the slab mead. And
I'm gonna get a knife to cut the porter's throat.
dear me, that's quite stout stuff. let me try one of those granite ales you spoke of earlier.
Oh. Whatever he wants.
Giesel, you know of the Valkyrie, right? Far to the north of here? The people...
I've heard tale of strange seafaring folk, yes, on the other side of the mountains.
Well, they've been encroaching upon the lowlanders to the south. And actually, as like raiding parties.
Oh, really?
And
What's an
we are here.
interesting tale. Another porter?
Please, yes, another porter.
Oh,
And
God.
for you. Yes, four more porters. Four more porters. Right.
All right.
And he pours them out and hands them to you.
We've actually
That's
come
8
here.
silver. Oh, sorry, no, 8 copper. Where's my manners? 8 copper.
Throw another little one gold with the tip, whatever.
Gold.
That's a little more like it. Puts it in
Let's try one of those.
Yes,
this one right here is for you, miss.
she'll drink it all.
If you're
She loves.
if you
boots.
prefer something a bit more robust, we have other brews, not for the likes of foreigners. Most
So
of
I
them kind of
down what he
handle their
gives me.
liquor.
I down what he gives me, and I sit there for a second. Do you have anything stronger?
We do. We absolutely do. We have some potato wine. Would you like some of that? I'll put hairs
try
on your
it.
chest, missy.
I don't know if I
just
want that,
getting
but I'll try
so
it
drunk.
and take one.
All right. Well, he ends up getting he pulls out a crystal clear bottle, no label. It's just pure white. Looks like water. And he pours you a small shot of it and slides it across. There you go, miss. That's
You're gonna down that
3
immediately.
silver. Okay, it has an incredibly burning effect on your throat. Give me a Constitution check. Fortitude save.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Sorry, I
obviously,
realized I
it
didn't
won't
want to
intoxicate
that
you because
20.
you're immune to the effects of poison. But
No, I'm really trying though.
but that doesn't mean you might not have adverse effects for just how bad it burns. All right, yeah, you manage to drink it down, but I mean
Nice.
it's almost like drinking fire.
Yes.
It is not pleasant at all. It is absolute rot gut. It's like damn nigh pure alcohol. It's like it's basically potato wine. It's vodka, if you want to put a Western term on it, but it is incredibly potent vodka. It's probably about 80% by volume, and it actually tastes like shit, to be honest.
When does it kick in?
He goes, about no. Now.
I'm just sitting there
Now.
smiling at him.
Now.
Damn it. I'm gonna slide him a gold and walk off.
And he kind of looks puzzled. He picks it and he goes, "There's something wrong with her. That's for sure."
There's a lot wrong with her, but that's.
There's a lot right with her, Radaban.
He says,
Well, of course.
would y'all like some potato wine? Yes,
No,
yes,
thank
3
you.
potato.
No, thank you.
On the house. And he slides
What
him
is
off in front of you. Beecham looks at you and he picks it up like dubiously and says, well, as they say, when
in Rome?
a rosy. And he downs it. We'll give him a fortitude save.
I'm going to take the smallest sip, but that's it. Because I'm sure I'm already feeling pretty.
All right. Beecham suddenly
Loosey-goosey?
he's like, and starts hacking up violently as he kind of like begins to crouch over and grab his chest, fighting to get his breath. And he finally's like, you could strip paint with that stuff.
I'm holding mine up. I'm kind of looking at it like scared for the first time in a long
you see Beecham
time.
kind of put his hand on your. He like reaches out and put his hand on your forearm, and he goes, shakes his head slightly.
I'm gonna put it down and kind of like then inch it towards the edge of the counter. And when Giesel's not looking, I'm gonna kind of pour it between me
off
and
the edge. Alright, okay.
Oh yeah, that's tough. And I'm gonna put the bag empty.
Okay. He says, "Well, Arya, obviously your guests are out of town. Would you like to partake in a room? We have some fine, comfortable rooms with some firm, solid beds."
Stone beds, I assume.
Well, of course,
The finest.
but with fur blankets and covers.
Of course. Sure. I'm gonna look at Kia and Beecham.
Have you ever seen a dwarf with a bad back? Nah.
I have so much I could say to that.
I don't think you guys are tall enough to have that. That's what I'm thinking.
It's the firm,
you say
solid
it?
sleeping that we do, you see.
I kind of love this place. I'm not gonna lie. Sure, I'll take a room.
How many
Happily.
beds per room?
Well, each room comes with one bed. So, typically we'd expect one guest per room. Of course, if you're of a romantic persuasion, we have rooms with larger
My head's
beds,
down.
but they still only have
Awkwardly.
one bed.
Right. 4 rooms, please.
But 5 silver a night per room, so 4 rooms, that's 2 gold, if you would not mind.
Take out 2 gold for this one.
Alright,
Hand
okay.
it to him.
So, call everyone by their respectful title and their name. Don't steal. Don't start fights you can't finish.
Yes, dwarves are simple people.
We need to get an audience with Lord Ironbeard. He would be very interested to talk to us.
Well, as I said, he is not an easy man to get to see. Of all the dwarves here in Carvarak, he would be the toughest.
We could start low and maybe work our way up. Who's the most renowned person in this tavern?
In this tavern, as he begins to kind of glance around, well, look, I'll be honest with you. Gazel's place is not known for being visited by the brave and the brash. No, while we do have a few of the local guardsmen come by every great once in a while, this is more for common down-to-earth dwarves, labourers and miners and smiths.
I suppose there's more taverns in this city.
There is one other,
What is that one?
the Deep Delvin Inn.
Would you say it hosts more prestigious?
Not prestigious, but possibly more of a robust types of personality.
Well,
Of
we
course,
would
I
much
more
rather
than
stay
make
here.
up for it here.
Speaking of, can I ask you a personal question?
Maybe. What's the question?
Just wondering why the hair dye, the pink and the blue.
That's a fair question. Well, when you run an establishment like this, it's sometimes nice to stand out to the crowd. So I find crushing some grapes and some mountain flowers to dye my hair and beard. And, well, some cochineal beetles or crush them underfoot to make a nice blue dye for the moustache.
Good marketing.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a dwarf that looks like me?
No.
And I bet you remember
Never.
me, won't you, lass? You remember me.
Your name is honestly, and I might still be a little tipsy, but it's true. I'll remember your name.
There you go.
Giesel.
Giesel Merrimall.
Oh, it's Mary Monk.
No, Merry Mall. As in mall, you know, a hammer.
Oh.
A mall.
Whoops. that wrong?
I just remembered
So
Giesel.
is this your first time here in Cairnemoore?
Yes, my friend. We arrived just today.
This is the first place we went to.
Giesel?
Then I feel completely honoured that you should visit me first. And with that, I think it's only fair that we welcome you properly. Now, we kind of like,
What is it?
well, we don't generally allow foreigners and visitors to sample the good stuff. But
Damn it.
as you've been so kind and have patronised me more than fairly, I'll allow y'all a treat and pour y'all a glass of the bullish brew.
The what?
The bullish?
Bullish
Bullshit.
brew. No,
Bul-
bullish. He said, aye, the golden barrel behind me. And with that, eagerly he goes over and pours 4 more tankards of beer.
I'm gonna look awkwardly to the dwarf sitting next to me to see if he's like giving a scowl or
No, he's got a grin on his face.
I'm gonna kind of nod. Like, hello.
Okay, give me a perception
Guy's
check.
cheating us out of it. Perception. Okay. This is great. We just want some money.
Perception, you mean spot check?
Yeah.
Spot.
Hey! Not a 20,
All
but
right, yes.
well.
You notice as he's grinning, he keeps kind of like looking at the corner of his left eye. He like cuts his eyes to the left a lot, and the guy over in the corner of the room keeps cutting his eyes to the right, and he has a grin on his face as well.
So I'm gonna sort of lean into Kia saying, remember what I said about Iridian and the 2 taverns?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
he puts the 4 the 4 flankards of bullish brew on the bar and smiles at you. Says, "Bullish Brewery, the finest dwarven ale you're gonna find here in the north.
Why?
On the house, on the house."
Should I be scared?
Scared, lass? No! It has got a golden flavour that will dance across your tongue and drizzle down the back of your throat like a golden shower.
I'm gonna take
Golden
it.
shower?
So
What are you
I'm gonna
laughing,
say,
lass? Go on, get it down, you.
Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna take a whiff of it. See how strong it
It
smells.
smells pretty potent.
Okay, I'll take just a tiny sip.
Okay, it is beer and it is ale, but it is strong. It's probably up there very close to the mead. It's obviously some kind of very, very strong fortified beer.
Okay.
He says, "'Tis a great honour to be allowed to partake of the bullish brew when you're a foreigner. And
So-
I'm just here to witness it. My payment alone will be the delightful glee in your eyes as you get to the very last drop of the flagon."
How loud are they being talking about this?
I'm sure you, if you're choosing
Normal?
to listen, you can hear.
so I'm going to raise my flagon and kind of like gesture over all the drinks assembled that was given to us. And I'm going to say, and for the grace of St. Cuthbert's, the deity I follow and worship, thank you for your generosity and all the grace that you have provided in the information. And I'm going to cast
You're going to purify the shit, aren't you, you wussy?
Okay, so before you did that, I went ahead and downed it.
Okay.
Well,
I'm doing it for Beecham, Kia, and myself, then. But I am purifying the drinks,
Okay.
and then I'm going to drink it.
All right.
I
Well,
owe you
it tastes like...
water.
No, it's really more like some kind of strong barley cordial than anything else at this point, because there's really no alcohol in it after it's been purified. So,
Oh, so mine was fine then. Okay.
yeah. Of course, yours doesn't affect you, but
No.
okay.
That is
Okay, I
wonderful. I'm going to put the empty drink down.
All
This
right.
has been quite an experience.
Beecham says, honestly, quite don't see what all the fuss is about. And the guy
It's all
kind of
right.
looks at him with a bit of a scowl. Beecham being the diplomat, goes, "Oh no, no, you misunderstand me. I just never, never expected to be given free drinks. I don't know what all the fuss is about with us. That's what I meant. With us, we're nobody really. We're just visitors from out of town, as it were. But very, very, very much appreciate your hospitality.
I'm gonna turn and look at Beecham and be like, "Oh, but he's drunk."
I'll be more than happy to patronize you some more."
Okay. We'll be back later tonight for our rooms.
Yes. Thank you again.
He says, "Oh, hold on just a second," as he reaches under the bar and pulls out 4 small boxes and hands them to you. "Your rooms. You'll find
Well,
inside the key. You're all on the
Oh.
first floor.
Wonderful. Thank you very
7,
much.
8, 10, and 11.
7. Got it. I'm going to put the key away.
All
I
right.
kind of half pretend to stumble, even though I am slightly tipsy.
Yeah, I mean,
Get out of the
you're-
awkward chair. I
you're-
mean,
it's you've had a couple of decent stiff drinks. I mean, but first of all, you used to be a raging alcoholic, so it's and you're a big dude, so you can feel the effects, but you're not inebriated to the point of staggering. Kia, I don't know how much of it you actually drank.
Not much.
So, and Beecham is somewhere around where Radovan is. He's a little bit stumbly, but able to function.
Okay.
He's got that little bit of a kind of like slight buzz to his words where he doesn't always make complete sense when he speaks. But other than that, you understand what he's saying.
Okay. Wow, do you think the other places like that?
I'm going to back up so we're out of earshot, and I'm going
I
to
thought
tap.
you were gonna say.
Oh, I'm going to tap Marlo on the shoulder and say,
I want Cal to pop his head out and take a look at that cat.
Okay.
I want to know his thoughts on that cat.
All right. He
It's so weird
says,
It's not a normal cat. So cute, curled up there. Alright, I'm just gonna shove him back in the backpack and go, cow! And then walk out.
he kind of shrugs his shoulders and looks at you as you stuff him back in. And as he heads out the door, you see him like go,
"What the fuck?"
all right. Cal thought she was hot.
Oh, Cal wants to. He's a pseudo dragon. That's fucked up.
Yeah, he is, but he's a cat half the time.
So
He's
cat.
sometimes he's anatomically equipped. What can you say? Alrighty.
Gonna fade to black on cat fucking.
No, I just don't see that as good entertainment for a stream, honestly. Okay, so you guys wander back out into the streets. You've been in there about an hour, so by now it's getting a little darker. The city itself, however, because of those massive forges, still, as it gets darker, everything seems to just be bathed with this weird orange glow.
Well, we have a mission now.
Yeah. So
What's our
try the
mission?
other.
Our mission, Marlowe, is to get an audience with Lord Ironbeard.
Where does he live? We'll
I
just go
don't
knock.
know. I think that's probably a bad idea. It seems like they respect titles, and we need to be introduced in a proper manner.
Well,
Well,
Or else he won't give us the time of day.
Well, they also want honesty, so we're going to be, as we have agreed upon already, 100% honest, right?
I'm always honest.
Well, we've had our snafus.
You're right.
so why don't you tell him about the thing that Beecham doesn't want us to tell him about?
Oh, speaking
Yes.
of which,
Maybe.
did we not mention going to a second tavern this evening?
There's a second one? Do you think they have stronger stuff?
Marlowe, it's never gonna happen.
I do hope not. But mind you, that stuff, except for that bullshit brew, was pretty good.
It was a Beecham. It was only bullshit because I purified it. I stripped it of
Bloody hell did you
its
do that for?
because the guys sitting next to us were looking at each other shiftily, and there's a chance that brew was like some intoxicant
Well, you
worse
should be
than
more
beer.
observant. Prior to that, they were slipping coins backwards and forwards. I think they were betting on whether or not you'd fall flat on your face.
Well, Beecham, I didn't. It's been a long day, Beecham.
Well,
I missed it.
I'm,
You're much more observant than I
before
am.
we leave Caverick or whatever it's called,
Oh, you're so drunk, Beecham.
I'm going to get a proper one of those. And mark my words, I don't appreciate it if you tamper with the quality of it. So don't do that.
It wasn't all that. It was okay.
Milo, Beecham, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
toss him.
fine. It's fine. It's getting awfully cold out here, don't you think? Let's get into the other tavern. And of course, it's not cold at all. It's actually quite warm, especially this close to the main furnace.
Okay, I'm
There are
warning you
not
right
enough
now.
words to describe how much I hate him right now.
I will not be babysitting anybody tonight.
No, of course, we should all must be on our best behavior, and
Of course.
and stay on point.
Right.
Let's go to the other
Stay
town.
on point. Let's go.
Kia, we're going to be
Let's go.
charming without charm, correct?
When...
Okay.
Just
Yes.
please.
You approach
Thank
the
you.
second establishment. Structurally, it is exactly identical to the one that you just came from. The only difference is the plaque above the door is written in two languages. There's kind of a weird dwarvish runic writing. Any of you read dwarf?
No.
And below that, in your gutter common, it says the Deep Delvin.
All right, ladies first.
All right, well, before we let you go into that establishment, we're going to take a short break. So there we go. You guys are going to wander into that tavern.
Yes.
All right, the Delvin. Let's enter that establishment, shall we? Or the Deep Delvin. Alrighty, and let me fix the map real quick. Oh, bloop, 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 bloop. And we'll move the players in there. Alright, okay. So as you enter the Deep Delve in, it really isn't as you can kind of expect, when you walk into it, you know structurally it was the same as the establishment before. You can see another huge flight of stairs at the far back leading up. But here are the differences. It has darker stone benches with the similar stooling that it had before, the benches and the tables. In the far corner is an absolutely massive open fireplace with chairs situated all around it. The bar in here actually is a little bit more flamboyant, however. It's got like a blue polished marble all the way across it, as well as a bar rail. The man behind the bar, he's kind of big for a dwarf. He actually stands about 4'11". He's wide, bald. He has a thick black beard that kind of comes around the side like mutton chops. But it's not long like most of the dwarves. Dwarves tend to consider the length of their beard something of a statue. This guy has a much more kind of kempt beard. But nonetheless, his arms are as thick as tree trunks, and he fits in with the rest of the dwarven patrons pretty well. He is nowhere near as flamboyant as the man that you came for, Mr. Giesel Merrimal. But for
This
sure...
guy in the back corner here.
Okay, yeah, so glancing over in the corner, there is actually a woman in that far corner.
Oh, that's a woman.
A female. And a human female, nonetheless.
It's Brienne. Tart.
Love her.
No, she's not wearing any kind of armor. Actually, other than kind of like leather breeches and kind of red over-the-top underwear, almost superhero-like.
It's fucking huge.
She has kind of like a large, like leather chest piece, but it is off the shoulder, and she has long flowing blonde hair and seems to be fitting in quite well with the dwarves. She is probably, if she was to stand up, probably is a good 6 foot. Yeah, she's a tall woman.
Wow. Wow, that's the...
Most of the dwarves in here, however, do indeed seem to be armored, or they've got their weapons thrown on the table. They're more the kind of like burly-looking dwarves that you're used to seeing, and dare I say it, there are a few dwarvish women in amongst them as well.
Do they have beards? Just curious.
Actually, they have hair that, like, their hair flows down, but it seems to also kind of hug very tightly around their chins and flow. It's not like a bushy beard as such, but the hair does seem to like attach to the sides of their faces. Most of them have them stylized that way anyway.
Okay.
Think we...
Sit.
Well, that's. I'm gonna move over here and sit down.
Okay, make your way to an actual table.
And then I'm going to start just listening in on the conversations around me. I'm just going to do what Raisa used to do that I kind of picked
I'm
up.
gonna eavesdrop.
Pretty much.
All right, well, go ahead then.
Beach them away.
She is tipsy a little bit. She is like squeezing between you guys.
Alrighty.
Alright, so listen check, right?
Yeah, give me a listen check. If you're trying to eavesdrop. Okay. The general discussions really seems to focus on mining, but gems and jewel mining. It seems to be that this place seems more fixated on actually mining for valuable riches. They're not the sort of dwarves that really seem obsessed with quality weapons and armor and all that sort of thing. They seem to be far more interested in wealth. These dwarves, honestly, they're to kind of stereotype them a little bit, they're kind of your hobbit dwarves. You know, they're very much riches obsessed.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you hear conversations like,
Did you hear Bolo? Apparently, Someone brought in an emerald done nigh the size of his fist. Biggest one he'd ever seen, he said, just last week.
Boring.
So, Beecham, and I'm gonna kind of like lean forward awkwardly past Kia, who shoehorned her way between us.
Yes?
Perhaps it would be in all of our best interest if you get a map of the mountain to maybe pinpoint where you presume we would go for,
Do you presume that the dwarves have such a thing?
Well, these guys are master mountaineers. I would assume they'd have maps and stuff, right?
Yes, but aren't dwarves, generally speaking, quite secretive individuals? Possibly. We probably need to find out if that would be something that would be welcomed with dubious skepticism before we ask the question.
Maybe you buy them a drink or two.
Speaking of,
Oh, Beecham. Oh, yeah. You want a drink, buddy?
yes, we do indeed need to sample. It wouldn't be fair or polite if we come in the tavern and not at least purchase a drink. You don't have to drink it. You don't have to drink it. I'll drink it. But you just have to come in here and you can't just sit down and ignore everybody.
Fair enough. Go.
Beecham heads over to the bar,
Yeah.
plops himself down.
I think we lost
My
Beecham.
good man. Hello. How are you? Pleasure to meet you. James Beecham. My good man.
So you see Beecham flag down the barkeep, and last thing you kind of notice is he wanders into slurred conversation with said man.
I'm gonna nudge Kia and be like, "Is that what I was like?"
Once upon a time, I could be like that.
I feel like Beecham is funny drunk. You were just
Asshole drunk.
such an a-hole.
Well, surrounded by knife ears all the time. I'm gonna look across the table to Marlo. So, we have stuff to do for sure, but I had an idea.
I was trying, but it wasn't working.
What?
What?
What was your idea?
I couldn't have one. That was the problem.
You couldn't have a... Wait, what?
What are you
The
going on about,
alcohol,
Marlo?
it wasn't working.
And what was your plan?
I had to have the alcohol before I could have the plan.
No, I'm coming to you right now saying I had a plan and with you in mind. I've been thinking about you quite a bit lately. Not like that. Stop it. I'm gonna look at Kia. Stop it. Look. You took down that monstrosity in the cave with the giant bird outside. Honestly, in a way, I didn't think you would. When you started hacking at those chains, I will admit I had a few seconds of doubts about what you were trying to accomplish because I did not see your end game. Of course, you tried to, you almost crushed me under that thing. I had to beep out of the way, but that's beside the point. You seem to have a knack for wanting to go after larger than yourself enemies by leaping on their backs, leaping on like you did the dragon, like you did that giant on the cliff before you got tossed down, the Yeti things.
Well, they never expect you to come at them like that. I mean, if I were bigger than somebody, I wouldn't expect them to come at me.
But at the same time,
Expect them to run away.
You went for a thing with claws, not by going on the back like we saw Beecham do, but you tripped it around the feet, which was smart. And I'm thinking about it. Now that we're here...
You want me to trip them?
No. Marlo, dwarves are known for dealing with larger creatures than them. I'm sure they have tips or strategies that you can leech and incorporate in this developing thing that you seem to always want to do for good or ill, Like your style. Think about it. Like you trick people and you hurt them, and these things are larger than you, possibly stronger than you, even though not better than you. You follow? You learn not to jump on a Yeti's back because it can just grab you and throw you. Well, but you did the fate thing, which was honestly not something I would have thought of.
Beecham's returned and he has put 4 tankards on the table. He says, "Drink up. It is time to be merry."
Yes,
What's
Beecham.
the point?
Anyway, thank you, Beecham. Finishing what I was saying, we've been doing this, you blindfolded and trying to anticipate me sparring thing. What if we try to incorporate that with tips from the dwarves and you knowing how to take down large creatures and try to coalesce it into a thing? I mean, I'll help you, of course. Develop obviously you'll do it because you're better than me. But what do you think? It's like an art form or style.
I'm ready for anything if it makes me stronger.
I mean, because that tiger thing that almost killed us before we got transported to that frozen lake thing was larger than us. I fear we might... I've been thinking about that for nights now. A part of me thinks that's not over, whatever that was. I don't know. But it was larger than us, and it damn near killed Kia and myself immediately. So maybe we should use this opportunity to be here, since we're here, to see how dwarves train to do that, because surely they deal with ogres and trolls and stuff in the mountains. Maybe they know stuff that we could learn. Or you could learn.
Beecham says they're really secretive, though. It would take me a while to make friends with someone. I don't make friends that easy.
I'm not saying they are secretive. I'm just saying I believe thought dwarves were secretive. They might not be. But maybe they're really, really open. Open-hearted, open-minded individuals, willing to tell you anything.
At which point he's
It's
like,
getting late. I think it's... Are you tired?
Actually, I think I am.
Can you make your way back to the tavern, or do I have to babysit you back there?
No. Would you mind terribly if I retired early? I think that bullshit brew might have finally kicked in.
I drank the same things that he drank.
Yes, what is wrong with that, incidentally? Because I pride myself. I've spent many a long voyage aboard a ship, drinking rum until my brains caved in, and I don't believe I've ever seen anybody that can hold their liquor quite as well as you. I mean, at one point when I kept... Yeah, I should go to bed. It's clearly past my bedtime. All good sailors should know when it's bedtime.
You have your key, Beecham?
Yes, here it is.
Okay.
I'll see you in the morning.
and with that,
Okay,
Beecham
sir.
Good night,
gets
Beecham.
up, staggers out. As he kind of passes the table, he stops, stutters, puts one hand to steady himself, bounces to the next table, and finally makes it out the door.
So he's funny and I was just an asshole.
We don't have to get into it. I like how you are now.
I mean, you do know I had a lot of issues when we first met, right? And the fact that we were going to die by the marks on our hands has made it...
I don't really like to think about that. It's in the past.
It's swindled by a bunch of fucking cultists.
Do you need a drink?
I'm gonna pick up mine and start, like, not gulping it, but definitely drinking it.
Alrighty.
Me too.
It appears to be a fairly stout ale of some kind, whether it's, granite ale or bullish brew, who knows, but at this point, who cares?
Okay.
Look, I'm going to keep eyeing that tall woman over there. Does she have any, particular markings that would give her away? Like, is she a lowlander or a Valkyrie, possibly?
She does not appear... Well, I mean, she doesn't have... Her dress doesn't appear Valkyrie. But then, in amongst the guttural languages of all the dwarves and stuff like that, which... It's like... For the most part, of course, the dwarves are speaking dwarvish. So, Radovan can understand them, but... Kier and Marlowe, it's just... But she seems to be speaking Dwarvish as well. But the problem is, she's doing a very good Dwarvish dialect, so it's hard to kind of tell where she comes from or who she might be because she's speaking Dwarvish.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
We can...
What are we going to do here?
I mean, there are many options.
Barkeep.
Yeah, I mean, we could use this place possibly to get as many inroads as possible with various people, Like, what if these guys have connections or relations with the hill dwarves that are feeding the Valkyrie? We could possibly see if we can get in contact with the hill dwarves. Because... I think we could use that relationship to get access to the Valkyrie, We chain it, Okay. Much like that metal that monstrosity used with the chain. So I guess it's just...
Use?
Well, yeah, I mean... Beecham said that he could take us to the Jarl of the Valkyrie, right, to talk to, but he had no guarantee that we would make it out of there alive. But what if we get information about the Valkyrie from a second or third hand source? We go from one link to another to then them, so it's not just us approaching their city, hoping they don't kill us or raid us, and then get information about what their intentions are.
But you know how muddled information can get when it's passed from mouth to mouth. That's my only worry.
Kind of like mono.
You ever had mono before? It sucks.
No,
I got it from...
actually. Never.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I got it.
You just...
Kia
I got it
has.
from Cassandra.
Yes.
I did when I was in 6th grade. I don't really remember it.
Sluts.
I think I was out
Sorry.
of school for a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's a long illness. Anyway.
Anyway, it's just a thought. Like,
Alright.
we see the other humans that live in this place or that are here, and we see where they're from. And maybe they have connections that we can then ingratiate ourselves to.
Alright.
Like the woman back there. Maybe
Tall.
maybe she's a Valkyrie who's visiting, or maybe she's a lowlander or a highlander. Any of those we can use to communicate. And
Maybe she's a dwarf.
Okay.
you sure you don't get drunk drinking?
Well, I mean, obviously she's not a dwarf, but, I mean, you don't know. Maybe she grew up here.
That's true. So she was abandoned at a dwarf fortress, possibly? Or left here?
Yeah.
If war did break out, do you think this would be a good place for refugees? It seems so sturdy.
I don't think... I think it would be a great place. I don't think it would be a welcoming place.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, clearly...
I think Ironbeard will like us once he finds out who we are.
I mean, there is no way that this place would be an easy siege for anybody. It's like, from you... I mean, you guys all were... y'all were thinking about, in the war with Drakkar and his forces, you remember the concerns and the worries that they had about the city of Iridian. But it's like, here, short of the dragons, how would you siege this place? Like, you couldn't probably get more than 30 to 50 men at the gate at any one time. You can't erect siege ladders unless you put them across the entire chasm. So therefore, no battering rams or anything can get up there. So I mean, yeah, this place is a seriously well fortified city.
I mean, these guys have been talking a lot of wealth. There are some spells that I can offer in service that could possibly be, although I'm unfamiliar of the religious element here. I mean, it's been referenced a few times. But there are some spells that require wealth that we obviously don't walk around with that we could offer. It's like if they have a holy place that they don't want, you know. But that's a thing we can possibly offer as an advantage on our part. I mean, there are ways...
Do you know if they're scared of magic here? I haven't been able to tell.
Well, I mean, the dwarf cleric we walked with, he was not. He seemed to have an open mind.
I feel like at that point they're pretty desperate for help.
It's true.
We could test the waters.
We could. I mean, we can.
Waters.
We could mention it when we have a proper audience, of course, that we are capable of these services for the good of everybody. Right. The guys at the guards that welcomed us didn't seem to be put off by me saying we made the knocker knock. You know, which obviously we couldn't physically do. That required magic, so...
That's true. How about we ask this barkeep how he thinks we can get an audience with Lord Ironbeard?
Okay.
Maybe he has more insight.
Maybe Marlo should talk to that lady back there. She's a big woman. Probably a friendship can develop. What do you think, Marlo?
I don't speak Dwarfish.
Well, maybe she's... Well, dwarves speak common, too. Go over there with these extra drinks and offer it to the table, and it stays on us.
Half-drunk drinks. Here, have our leftovers.
I'll fill one drink up.
Leftover and leftover.
Leftover and leftover. So there's two drinks.
So you're gonna, yeah, okay. So you got two
I'll
full
offer
flagons.
We'll never know.
Because you don't get drunk, you can outdrink her. Maybe you could use that to your advantage without, you know, too much
I
worse.
don't have anything against her, though.
I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying we do, but we need information about who she is, and what connection she might have. She seems to be well off here.
Yeah, but it's... If she is stronger than me, that's one thing.
Okay.
It's not a challenge.
While you're all discussing what you're discussing, give me a listen check, everybody. DC would be 20.
Here's where my 20 comes in.
Oh, Rado! Is that a
What?
nat?
Did he? No!
Did he? Did he?
Natural
He
20!
did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Wrong person.
Thank you,
Yes,
Jane,
he
for
did.
blessing me with your 20.
I gave
there
it
we
to
go.
you.
Shag
I
it with
gave
a
it to
natural
you.
20.
You just clicked it slightly before I did. I
Shag
just
it
got
with a natural
distracted.
20. All right. If you bet on Shag it, guess what?
Yes.
You won gold, and those winners are right there. Congrats. Flutto with 1,000 gold. Nice bet,
Wow.
dude.
Nice,
he
Flutto.
really had a lot of faith in you.
Wow.
Oh, bank. Got serious bank. So there we go, Rado. Oh my god, that ties Radovan up with Jane Ivana on the natural
Yes.
20s
No!
roll. Oh my god. All
Coming
right.
for that trophy.
Even though both Kia and Marlo overheard it anyway.
I heard it extra.
You heard it more. You heard it clearer. I would say I can't say you heard it first because sound traveling and all that. But somewhere in the back of the tavern, you hear somebody say,
Well, after all, Skalfmir, you are Marshal of the Mountain. So,
Whoa.
And Flutto with more cheer. Thank you for that, my friend.
Hello.
Mucho cheer from Flutto. I almost put that cheer on Shagget too. Told you this will be a good stream. Kappa. Appreciate it, dude.
Thanks. Thanks, Flutto.
You have cheered a total of 25,789 cheer. That's a lot of cheer, dude. You're a cheery mother. That's for sure. Cheery mother heifer. All right, yeah, so you guys overheard that.
And that came from this table?
No, yeah, the table here somewhere.
Because he looks really well dressed.
It's actually a woman.
Oh,
The one you
she
just-
looks very
she
well
looks really well dressed, but yes, it was coming from that table. It was like,
Did you guys hear that?
very clearly, yes.
clear. I heard it clearer than you, in fact.
That's our in.
It was like they were right beside me.
Whispering sweet nothings into my ear.
Oh man.
Perhaps it wouldn't be the best idea to just approach them.
What if we get the barkeep to send them drinks from us?
That's a splendid idea.
Really?
As Radovan slides
Yeah.
Why
through
don't you
two-
just
down.
take it over there yourself?
What if they're busy? If they want to chat, we'll see.
Okay.
Should
Go
we have
do.
the barkeep say something for us, or just...
One thing you've noticed, Kia, is nobody has given you, not even a single dwarf has given you any kind of racial consideration. Nobody seems to have acknowledged you're an elf, given a crap that you're an elf. There's clearly no dwarven, elven thing here.
Okay.
I have a better idea.
What?
Do it, Marlo.
Okay,
Well,
so I'm gonna
tell
walk
us
over
first.
to the barkeep,
Okay.
and I'm gonna order a drink for everybody in the bar.
All right.
Ooh.
He looks at you and he says, "Well, that's rather splendid of you, lass. Careful Unnerforge," as he reaches his massive mallish hand over to shake yours.
Marlo Rayfell.
With a very firm grip, he shakes your hand. He says, "So, of what particular ale or beverage you want to order for everybody?"
The best you got.
Are you sure?
Positive.
You see Radovan in the table going like, he
always
didn't even,
Alright.
he didn't even hear your plan.
Okay,
He's
with
just
that,
going
he
like this.
reaches underneath the bar and pulls out what appears to be a large bell. The bell is probably about this wide,
Yeah.
probably about this tall, has a thick wooden handle, and he suddenly picks it up, he's like, ding a ding a ding a ding a ding, and rings it loudly, and it kind of like echoes around the room, and he says, "Drinks are all round for everybody on Malo Rayfell! Bullish brew for all!" In which case the whole place just stops and all the dwarves suddenly cheer. And they begin to rush the bar one by one as he starts slamming flagon upon flagon of the golden ale on the table as they snatch them one after the other. When all is said and done, he looks at you and he says, 7 gold? Ish?
I just give him 10.
He says,
Oh, wow.
thank you very much, miss. Thank you very much.
And,
Pray tell, would you be here to possibly visit with the custodian of the stairwell? Or are you here on other matters?
I would very much like to meet the custodian of the stairwell.
Are you and your friends Delvers? Do you have charters?
Oh no.
And you
Radovan.
notice, as you're saying this, you notice several of the dwarves have like put their beer down and like, eagerly listening to the conversation.
Revan.
I still have my thumb up. You're gonna see it kind of lower, and I'm just kind of sheepishly like, "Oh no, she did something. She did something, Kia."
Done something.
I'm gonna gingerly get up and kind of like nudge Kia in the back as I approach. Yes, Martha.
This man needs our charters.
Our what?
Our charters, Redovan.
Oh, no. I do not need your charters. Theenan Greybrow does. Theenan!
Charters.
We have
charters.
Delvers.
Whoa.
An elderly-looking dwarf dressed in long, flowing, official-looking robes begins to walk over. Slowly crosses the room and stops. God. And he says, "Am I to understand that you are delvers and that you have been granted charters to delve by
Man, he asked you a question.
Ironbeard himself?"
We are visitors here. We just have information about the outside world that we wish to impart upon respected people. You people, I say it again. Fuck you.
Fuck this, I'm out.
You people.
You're so racist.
Why don't you start talking about their height next?
Wow.
Just take a pop at how short they are. Why don't you do that next?
You people.
Redovan. Kia.
Yes.
Kia, you need to just step in right now before he just like
Just
causes
scoot
a
up
racial
there.
riot in this place.
Seems to be the problem.
Marlowe seems to have told everyone we are delvers with charters.
Is this not the case?
I'm sorry. He must not understand. Delvers, Redovan.
It's the language barrier. It's not.
Yes.
her first language.
Forgive us. We don't know what a delver is because
Oh.
we may very well be without knowing. You know, like
With that, the
Messengers
barkeep
or
says,
something.
"Well, ignore him then. I'm sorry, Theenan, to drag you from your fire. You go back, lad. Go back," he says.
I'm gonna walk.
If
him
we're
back.
not Delvers, why did we come into the pub that's named as such?
we're not dwarves. Why would you think we are named Delver? I'm confused.
They can see
Marlo.
we're not dwarves.
So what makes you think our name is Delver?
No, he's asking if we have charter to Delver.
What does that mean?
Excuse me, barkeep.
The custodian
Yes.
of the...
Yes, hi. I believe my friend is mistaken. What we would really like, why we bought drinks for everyone, is an audience with the marshal over there.
Oh. The marshal, eh?
Yes.
Well, I feel sure after buying him a flagon of bullish brew would at least afford a appropriate introduction. Why don't you just wander over and shake his hand?
Reminds me of his name again.
Oh yes, Skelfmere Dowerstock. He is the marshal of the mountain.
Skelfmere Delstock?
Dowerstock.
Dowerstock.
Dower stock.
Dower, as
It's
in, you
so
know, looking
hard
dour.
to get good company these days. You know what I'm saying at Ironforge?
Oh, and it's Honor Forge, as in honor, you know, as in I'm
I thought he said iron.
honorable.
Honor Forge.
No, in my younger day, I was a delver. Oh yes, I built the tavern right here. The first tavern to preoccupy Carvarak, and the city grew amongst it. But anyway, yes, go by all means, go and introduce yourself to Skalfmere. Let
If
him
my
know
ally
you-
here has misplaced my charter, where would I go to obtain a new one?
Misplaced. Oh dear.
I mean, he obviously misplaced it. He
carelessness.
doesn't even.
Well, to get a delving charter, you'd need to get that from Baragon the Ironbeard himself. Only his, Lord of the Hall seal is a proof of an official charter.
Yes, we
An agreement to all the terms that are imbued.
I apologize for any confusion that might have occurred. We are nobles from a land far to the south of here. So there was just a language barrier that confused me about what you were asking
I
and what we
must
needed.
confess, you didn't look like those that would be capable of the delve anyway.
I can
Yes.
delve. I can delve all day. I can delve right now.
Marlo, stop,
Cracking me
please.
up.
What is it to delve? It's a verb, obviously.
Means
Alright, give me
to
a spot
Marlo,
check.
delve.
Everybody give me a spot check if you're listening. And 22 DC.
Ooh, I'm rolling
Look
on
at these!
fire.
Look at these damn spot checks.
Wow.
All right, all of you notice as he says it, for a split second, his eyes shoot past you to the floor, and then he says,
To delve is a serious matter, and only the bravest, strongest, and, well, those that dinna care to live nor die are willing to take the delve.
And so it's like you go into the mountain, I assume?
Of a sort, of a sort. I believe your friend, the Marshal of the Mountain, Stealthmere Derristock, is about to finish his drink. If you wish
Well, okay.
to talk to him, you best do so now before he.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna nod and say thank you. We'll be back.
One becomes strong while delving.
Oh my God, Marlo, let's.
One becomes dead while delving.
But is that strong?
Strong,
Strong.
smelling, perhaps.
You
I-
delved and you're not dead.
Aye, but those that I delved with were all of them. Anyway, pay me no mind. Your interests lie over there at that table with the with Marshal Dorstock. Go chat with him. Why you had chance?
Radavan, I really want to delve.
I want to delve, damn it!
Why can't
So-
I do
Not
delving?
right now.
Why can't I have a delve?
Excuse us.
Okay, so you're walking over.
Yes.
All right, the three dwarves, one, as I said, one of which is a woman, kind of look at you and smile.
I'm gonna half bow and say.
The one with all the plate mail that you can see, carrying like a... He's dressed very much like the guards that you saw before, although he has kind of like a golden emblem on his shoulder. And probably by the way he kind of carries himself, also the warhammer that he has a faint, like, translucent glow that seems to radiate over the head of the helm.
25 golds. All right.
Absolutely, sell that crap. Make money all day long.
So I'm gonna give a half bow and say,
Okay, he looks
Marshal of the Mountain, Sir Lord Dowerstock.
Oh no, I'm no lord. Just a
Sir
marshal.
Dowerstock.
I'm no sir either. Sir
Marshal
is a title
Dowerstock.
for those below the mountains.
You know, fucked up.
My name is Radavan Rainier.
It's going
I-
to take the talking stick away from me.
Yeah, you're not allowed to speak anymore. Right, he kind of, as you're speaking, he looks past you and he says to Marlowe, who's kind of hovering in the back, he says, I very much appreciate your kind gesture.
You're very welcome, Marshal. Radovan, ask him if I can delve.
I kind of like shoot my elbow behind me, probably missing because she's a good ways away. But kind of like, stop her.
One can't speak and one can't stop. Okay.
We've actually been quite interested in meeting you.
This is my friend.
Really?
Yes, my name is Kaeliana.
Skalfmir Darostok, Marshal of the Mountains.
Very nice.
Custodian of the Shield Bearers of Ironbeard, Lord of the Hall.
Very nice.
Did he? Oh.
We hail from the south, in the kingdom of Arconis. We are nobles of that kingdom.
Yes, word travels swiftly.
Oh,
Some
wow.
of my shield bearers informed me of some strangers that claim to have known, should I get this right, some, a Lord Bronzebeard.
Iron. You're very... I deserve that.
Oh, surely. No, of course, I jest.
Of course, and it's well
But
deserved.
yes, you were a friend of the, late Gaffer Ironbeard, from what I hear.
That is correct.
Kin
Myself.
to the Lord of the Hall.
Yes.
Yet,
We...
me, Skalfmir Dowerstock is who you wish to see. Why would that be?
Well, you are in charge of protection and safekeeping of this beautiful city.
Indeed. Marshal of the
And-
Mountain.
And while I doubt there is any threat that you guys could not handle really capably, the surrounding lands of this mountainside is being threatened by outside forces that are coming from the north, and it would make travel precarious at best. And this is a concern we have and wish to tell you.
Oh, I appreciate the information. You may go.
The Valkyrie, you've heard of them, I'm sure.
Aye. Those that bathe themselves with whale blubber and dabble in the waters catching fishies and playing on the other side of the mountain. Yes, we've heard of them.
Well, they are no longer on the other side of the mountain. That's what they are moving in to the south of the mountain.
Well, that's
And they're-
unfortunate for those that live to the south of the mountain.
Precisely, and it is a concern of ours that these innocent and good people of the lowlands will be killed, raided, and forced.
Indeed, that will be a shame, and we'll pay note that there will be less of hindrance when we travel to the basements of the mountains. I very much appreciate your information. You may go.
Well, we would like one more thing.
Oh, yes.
Would it be possible to get us an audience with the Lord of the Mountain?
The Lord of the Hall, you mean? Baron Ironbeard. And what, pray tell, would you have to do that would require you to impose yourself on Borgund Ironbeard?
Not so much impose, but we did travel with Gaffer Ironbeard for quite a time. We think it would be wise to meet with him and
It would indeed.
tell him the truth of
wise.
everything that happened down to the southwest.
It would be a first-hand story. No blemishes, no
And
exaggerations.
as Marshal of the Mountain, my ears are his ears. You can tell me anything, and I, on my word and my oath, will be repeated, word for word, to Borgund Ironbeard himself. But this does not necessarily require you to impose yourself upon him. He
Do you
does
not
not
think
grant
he'd want to
audiences
meet?
lightly. Even for a so-called friend of a member of his kin. After all, I do not see beards, and y'all are a wee bit shorter, or taller, should I say, than you need to be dwarfs. Unless, of course, I'm mistaken. You are, in fact, dwarves. Just, are you dwarves?
Definitely not a dwarf.
I didn't think so.
We have a great opportunity to strike up a relationship with you with the southern people, and me with the northern people.
Here's
And
the thing. Do
make
you
the land safer for
believe-
all.
Well, no. Do you believe for a second that we here in the mountain, those of us that dwell in Carvarak, have interest in anything on the ground? Those lowlanders that you speak of. Do you actually
Okay.
believe that we have any dealings with them? Because I'm afraid you're mistaken. We don't. They know, they know well to keep themselves to themselves, as do we. Their troubles are their troubles, our troubles are ours.
You do know the Valkyrie have flying creatures as well.
Well, that's as maybe. But, a few flying nasties are no trouble to the, fortifications here in Cairnemoore, or to those that are devout worshippers of Dumathoin. Our high priest is more than capable of protecting us from the air when necessary.
Your high priest. What's his name?
What's his name? Well, High Priest of Dumathoin should be enough, but if it is not, Duingald Cargill is his name. Duingund Cargill is a devout worshipper and High Priest of the Lord of the Mine and of Expedition of Dwarven Kind.
It is this expedition aspect that my concern is levied. You see, while I understand that the Lowlanders, they have their problems, and you might have your own that you keep to yourselves and are separate, the more time is spent without befriending those of outside cultures and places, the more insulated I fear you will become just by the very dangers that will come when you do venture out and travel. Because these Valkyrie don't seem to be friendly. We encountered them not a week and a half ago, and when we said we wanted peace and just to talk, they attacked us outright and brought in these
I
flying
understand.
creatures.
For the weak humans, and no offense, but elves, this may be a problem, but for those of us that dwell inside the walls of Carvarak and those of dwarvish blood, no, these are not concerns that we need to worry ourselves with.
I see. So you think us just weak, pathetic nobles.
No, just... It's not your fault that you were born in inferior territory. It's not your fault that you weren't given the necessary challenges as children to grow in such a harsh environment that would mold you into sterner stuff.
With all due respect, sir, we have fought in war and been through quite a bit in our lives. That would probably surprise you.
I very much doubt that, but the point still remains that the fate of Lowlanders is nothing to do with us.
It will not until any of you try to leave this wonderful city to travel abroad and come across hordes of your enemy without even knowing they were there.
Well, these indeed would be concerns more better suited to take up with Burgund Ironbeard himself. This much is true. Unfortunately, you do not have the graces to appear before him. You've not earned the right. So,
And how does one earn the right? Does it have to do with this delving thing that my friend Marlo was speaking of?
No. Do not trouble yourselves with delving. That'll just get you killed. No.
But, are you that eager to find yourselves at the foot of Bergen Ironbeard's throne? Are you?
Yes.
I think that meeting would be most important for the future prosperity of both our cultures and our ways of life.
Sarind and Ondurin, leave us for a moment, if you would.
With that, the other two dwarves immediately kind of get up from the table and move to a different table. At which point, the Marshal of the Mountain says, "Would you take a seat?"
I'm going to give a half bow and do just that.
I'm gonna give a full bow just to beat you.
All right.
Where's Marlo at?
Milo is warming her feet and hands by that huge fire.
Did she get mad that we kept shushing her?
No, she's probably. I'm actually over here talking to this guy,
Oh, okay.
asking him about delving.
Okay, so you want to talk to this dude? Okay, well,
You're
let's
the
go.
one that stood up and walked over there.
Let's cut over to you for a moment then. Okay, so you've moved in and you've sat next to the elderly dwarf in the grey, kind of like seems to be robes of office. All right. As he sits there, puffing away on a large pipe.
Is delving important?
Delving is very serious business here in Carbark. And something you
So-
shouldn't discuss lightly. Unless you understand what it is you discuss.
I want to know.
Well, then you best talk to Bargained Ironbeard, hadn't you?
How do I do that?
Oh, find yourself an audience.
How do I do that?
Well, that's not easy. You either have to be invited or, we'll have to earn it. By doing some significant deed or, valuable task for, those citizens of Cartharic, or, Borgand Ironbeard himself, or be presented by Marshal of the Mountain to himself.
Oh. Does delving help the city?
On a rare occasion, yes. Well, I suppose in a small way every time. But only those successful at delving truly provide the city with the wealth that it deserves.
So delving is like treasure hunting.
It's more like death avoidance that possibly has some form of financial reward should you successfully do it,
I see.
which very few do. Consider delving a death avoidance exercise that on rare occasion yields financial rewards to the city and the delvers should they succeed. But
Is that all that the delver gets? The delver would become stronger by avoiding death, right?
oh well, any delver that should successfully return would have tales to tell and stories aplenty to last him a lifetime. If he's still sane, of course.
Thank you for this
Half those
information.
that return alive are usually not seen. And less than half of those that go down return alive. So if you consider the fact that less than half that go down return alive, and less than half of those are sane, there's very few sane delvers left.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Should you find yourself the custodian of a legal agreement and a charter, come back and see Thanen, and we will arrange for the stairwell to be opened by the custodian.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna wander back over here and I'm gonna say, Kia Radovan, I'm sorry, I know you were talking. The thing that Beecham said that, and the O, and no, we need to go find that.
Sit with us,
Yes,
Marlo. We
yes,
were
yes.
just asked to sit, so your timing is impeccable.
We'll talk about that after.
Oh, okay.
But we got you.
So, you were saying that you desperately prized an audience with the Lord of the Hall, Borgrand Ironbeard.
What can we do to make that happen?
We have to perform a deed that is worth his attention.
It's just... Your friend would be right. Are you familiar with the term Oathbreaker?
Yes.
Bronzebeard was one, right?
Correct.
Yes, there have... well... You'd have to check the Book of Grudges for actual names, but I have a name for you.
Let's hear it.
Rannon Strongstorm. There's a grudge breaker that needs to be brought back before the halls of his lordship.
Rannon Stoneburn?
Rannon
Strong
Strongstorm.
Sturm.
Strong.
Sturm. Yes,
Like sperm, but with a T.
I suppose.
No, I don't say that out
That's
loud.
probably quite fitting because he's probably little more than a waste of a handshake.
Say that out loud.
And you want us to find this man?
Well, I had intentions of sending some able-bodied dwarves to find this individual, but this sudden request of yours, I must admit, I find some level of amusement in sending you. Thus giving you the opportunity to earn the right to go before the hall, but at the same time providing me with some joviality.
And then we can ask for a charter to delve.
If you can afford one, yes. Although I wouldn't do so. The three of you are too wet behind the ears to possibly risk going into the delve.
I'm going to look tentatively at Marlo as he says this, since she was not around for the insults earlier.
Right. Well,
Well, you know, that just makes me want to do it all the more.
Have you managed to secure yourselves some lodgings here in Caravarak?
We have.
Good, good. Then,
Well, we accept this proposal.
Well, yeah. What did this Renan do?
That is true.
nothing for you to worry yourself about.
Just
All you
find-
need to know is an
bring him-
oathbreaker. Considered
He obviously
criminal
broke an oath.
all in Caravarak and needs to be returned.
Returned
Fortunately-
alive, I assume.
Let's go get him.
Definitely alive, yes. But that's not as simple as it may sound. Now, I can tell you exactly where you can find him. I can tell you how to get there.
Okay.
But there will be some difficulties in actually apprehending him and bringing him back.
Why is that?
Well, you said you have lodgings, so perhaps you should retire, and I'll meet you here in the morn with an agreement. and some instructions. If you are indeed serious about finding yourselves at the foot of Borgrund Ironbeard's throne, this is the only way you will do it.
That's the only way to get a charter. To bed, then.
Thank you for the opportunity. So we'll meet here.
Don't
in the
thank me
morning.
just yet. But yes, meet me here in the morning.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Marshall.
So do you guys want to do anything in particular tonight, or you just want to rest up and come back in the morning?
Hot tub.
I think we're just going to use this night to relax and eat
Okay.
and bathe.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the morning you all wake up, Beecham joins you with a very sore head.
Lucky bastard.
And, you venture into this tavern and find the marshal waiting for you bright and early in the morning. There you go. Okay. So he walks up to you and he hands you what appears to be a sealed scroll. Here you go.
I'll take it, I guess.
No. This is of utmost importance that you do not read what's inside. But you are to take it to the Temple of Dumathoin.
Alright, do you have a map?
No, but I can tell you where it is.
Okay.
It's right.
It's here in Caravarak.
Oh,
You have to go before the High Cleric, Dinagold Cargill.
Right.
Let him know that you are seeking the apprehendance of Rannan Strongstorm, and that you have been sent by me, Marshal of the Mountain,
Okay.
and he will give you further instruction.
What?
He will
All
give
right.
you further instruction.
come on, guys.
Why is this so convoluted?
Oh, well, when it comes to something of such an important matter as an oath that has been broken, there are certain protocols that must be followed and obeyed.
Alright.
Well, if you sincerely want to see the Lord of the Hall, you're on your way, so off you go.
I'm going to give a little nod this time. I'm not particularly happy.
Appreciate it.
I'm just going to leave.
So,
Yeah.
have a
walk
nice
out.
day.
He's laughing at us.
I know.
Marlo. He's laughing.
He's laughing. Why?
Because he thinks us
We're gonna fail.
pitiful. He doesn't know what we've been through.
Well, why would he?
Even we told him, he still. I don't think he believes us.
You don't always believe people because they tell you things. That's why
That
you
is-
have to show them. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Show him.
Marlo, we're not going to delve unless we absolutely have to.
Alrighty. So we'll take you back out onto the streets. Let's see. There's a good town.
Marshall's like, uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
It's the first thing she's gonna do.
I know, totally.
Alright, so, yeah. Where do you want to go to find the temple?
Like kick down
I'm
the
gonna
door with the god handcuffs. I'm here to delve!
Let me delve!
Would it be where the golden statue is, perchance?
That's probably where the dude is. I'm thinking it's
Dude.
this circular thing.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go check out both from the outside, I guess.
Alright, so you want to head down the main street?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull over a dwarf and ask where the temple is because.
Pull over a dwarf.
Hey, dwarfy!
Where's the
You're
temple,
going past
son?
the speed limit, son.
Seem to be traveling a little fast for a short guy.
Little stubby legs moving
Okay,
quickly.
People.
Gonna twist an ankle.
You people. Where are your people's
Right, so
religion?
yeah, if you're asking directions, they will direct you to this building here.
Oh.
Oh.
Which the first thing you notice, there's nothing remarkable about it whatsoever. Nothing adorned, no sign, no symbol. It's just a
they're
very,
not
very
Pelorian.
plain, boring-looking building.
Okay. Door like open or?
The door it's ajar. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I'm gonna probably knock and then open it a little bit if it's
Okay.
already. Hello. Anybody? Hello. Ooh.
This way.
Oh God, this reminds me of Pelor's place.
I know.
Yeah,
I
it
just
fucking
thought
does.
of that. It's like,
Fucking
no.
stone Pelor. We're gonna punch an initiate. That's what we're doing.
Initiate punching. Okay, alright. There you go. So yeah, basically it is a stone building that is little more than a very humble looking place of worship. There are empty stone fonts to the left and the right, pews all the way down the, down the center, a raised dais at the far end. Two statues of a pot-bellied dwarf can be seen either side, and what appears to be magically burning, almost like lava pits of molten flame, are to the far left and right of the raised dais itself. There is a priest, a dwarven fellow in some form of regal garb. He has a beard that flows down to his nether regions, basically. His beard goes all the way up and joins his hair, but he is bald at the top of his head as he stands in front of what appears to be a large lump of rock that is pointed and kind of like positioned on top of the plinth behind him.
These places keep me out.
Okay, start making a long walk towards it.
Right? He stands there holding his regal staff. Around his neck is a huge, big kind of iron symbol, of which appears to be like a mountain on the symbol, with a large, shiny gem in the center of the mountain.
Cool. Do you think he just stands there all day?
Yeah, he's actually a statue as well.
Greetings! Were we supposed to give him the scroll?
Alright, so you kind of wander in. He just raises an eyebrow at you and he says, "Welcome, miners or explorers, or just those that wish the blessings of Doomathoin.
None of those,
I
actually.
see you are a priest of Saint Cuthbert."
Very astute of you. Greetings. I'm gonna give a bow, a definite full
He
bow.
deliberately bows lower than you, which isn't hard because he's considerably
He's a
shorter than
fucking
you. So
dwarf.
it's not a difficult thing at all. He says, "It is a pleasure to have our humble temple graced by one of your religion."
This is a lovely temple, and thank you for
As
our
you can
company.
see, Doomathoin has no need for finery or glorification. But what brings
As it
you
should
to our humble temple here in the city of Carvarak?
The Marshal sent us.
Oh, he did he?
She is correct.
And on what business did Scalfmere Durstock send you?
We're to inquire about the apprehending of an oath breaker named...
There's something that all dwarves find very sincere and very serious.
You are being sent to apprehend an Oathbreaker, is this correct?
Yes.
Key out the scroll. You have it.
Rena Strongstorm, and I'll hand him the scroll.
Okay. He takes it from you and breaks the seal and shh.
Oh, really? Yes. Splendid. Oh, well, yes. May you,
One second. With that, he kind of like reaches behind him. He goes over to one of the burning braziers and sticks a signet ring into it. Then you see him like melt some wax on the signet ring and reseal the scroll.
Nice.
And then he hands it back to you.
I'll take it.
yes, so you are to apprehend the, what name were you given for the Oathbreaker? Who you are after?
Can I sense
Raymond.
motive?
Sure. Go right ahead.
He's skeeving me out right now.
It's that high dwarven voice. Oh, no.
Yeah, give me
Come
a
on,
sense motive
skills.
check, Marla. You can definitely tell he's amused, but beyond that,
God, what are we about to do?
um,
His name
what's
is
it?
Raynon Strongstorm.
Oh, Rannon Strongstorm, yes.
Randon.
Oh, a skullduggerous individual, to be sure. Oh, I commend you for wishing to help us apprehend such a vile breaker of oaths. Perhaps you would like to bless the coffers of, our god Dermathoin in hope that he may bless your expedition.
and he reaches under his robe and pulls out a copper bowl like it was just there ready. Like,
Um,
I'll put a silver in there.
yeah, I'm not putting anything. I'm not saying this, but I'm not putting anything in there because his god's not going to do anything for me.
I'm gonna do it just because I'd feel awkward if I didn't.
okay, so you put silver in.
I remember the time I put.
Do you remember the time?
I remember the time I put a piece of money into Set's scepter, and I got kind of a bad feeling from my god back in Marks of Intrigue. Remember? Because I did it kind of
Do you want to
testingly.
make a religion check to see what you know
Yes.
about Dermathoin?
I would, and also whether donating gold would get me on the bad. I mean, like if you kind of be like, "You dick, you don't donate to me."
22. Okay. So yeah, Dermathoin is, as you've already heard, as people have said to you before, he is the god of mining and exploration. He is predominantly worshipped by dwarves. Really, nobody else worships him. He is considered a fairly neutral god. Like, he doesn't really get involved in stuff much.
Okay.
But if you are the sort that are, you know, digging into the depths or going on a long voyage, especially if you are somebody of a dwarven kin, then yeah, you know, having his blessing wouldn't be a terrible thing to have. But there's definitely nothing like dubious or,
Oh, that wasn't my
Skullduggery.
concern.
yeah.
My concern was, would Cuthbert be okay with me donating to another patron?
No, Cuthbert would be fine with that.
Okay, because he did. I do
Yeah,
remember
it's
that warning to
respectful.
the
It's
evil
respectful.
god.
Yeah, no.
So I'm
well,
gonna-
to an evil god's a little different. But this is
I
this is not
get
an
that, yeah.
asshole god, so Cuthbert would be kind of okay with that.
All right, so I'm gonna give a gold piece.
Okay.
So
He kind of
Nice.
swirls
Oh, yeah.
the 2 coins around in the bowl and says,
Doesn't make much of a chink, does it? But
Yes, but it's okay
nevertheless-
because your god doesn't need it.
right, he kind of spins the bowl really fast and then drops his hand. And as he does so, the 2 coins like fall. The bowl drops and the 2 coins are left in thin air. And then he snatches the coins with his right hand out of the air.
Wow.
And quickly they go into the pouch on the side of his robe.
And he says, yes, well, clearly you are blessed with good fortune and luck already, and do not need the blessings of Dimethoin, so, I bid you good day.
You gave us back the scroll. Is there something we should do with it, or?
Oh, no, no, under the circumstances, no, you just go right ahead.
What do we
You
do?
were supposed to give us instruction.
Oh, I was I? Yes, here's some instruction. Go back and ask whoever gave you that scroll where you need to go, because,
I'm gonna take out 2 gold and be like, will this help you give us instruction?
That seems like you're just offering me money for information.
No, it's for the blessing. I just don't feel like I'm being blessed enough right now. And if I was feeling a little bit more blessed, then maybe you'd want to talk to us more.
He says, well, that sometimes is how it works, yes.
Yes.
If you feel that 2 gold is the required amount of blessing that you'd need for such a task...
Sir, with all due respect, why are we getting the runaround here? We are told to do something serious. We're following the words of instructions.
Yes.
It doesn't seem right that the
Well, perhaps you're thinking too much like a human and not a dwarf.
well,
That's
yes,
true.
we
After
seem to
all,
be
you
getting.
were trying to...
What's your name, sir?
Oh,
I
my
just
name!
do
I am
work.
the High Priest of Dumathoin here in Carvarrock. My name is Duingond Cargal.
How much would one need to get the most effective blessing from your god?
Well, our blessings can be stored on many different levels. That's kind of like a how heavy is a rock type of question, isn't it?
I'm gonna walk out of the temple and grab the first person I see.
Okay.
God.
So you're gonna grab a dwarf at random?
I'm just not gonna grab them. I'm just gonna walk up and say, "I'm sorry. If I were to tell you the name Strongstern, what would you say?"
As soon as you say it, you see someone go and spit on the floor. His dirty, disgusting oathbreaker, if ever I've heard of one. You're not an
Do you know where
acquaintance
we
or
could find
friend, are
him?
you?
Oh no. Do you know where I would find him though?
I know he fled the city. Filthy
Fled the
bastard. Wasn't
What
willing
did
to
he
face
do?
justice.
Well, not to before he became an oathbreaker. What did he do?
Well, that's not something that's polite to discuss on the streets. All's are serious things.
I have been chosen by the marshal to go and apprehend him for the city,
Well,
but
good. Then go get him. Bring him back. Make him stand justice.
I understand that
I'm in admiration of you for choosing to do such a task. You go right ahead.
absolutely.
Bring him
But
back.
what can
Make
I
sure.
expect?
Eh,
Is he a good fighter?
he's a dwarf. Of course, he's a good fighter.
Are you done?
But he has no honor, I'll tell you that.
I fucking love dwarves. They're such
Obviously.
assholes.
It's difficult because we were sent over here to get information to apprehend him and bring him to justice, but nobody is telling us where we can go.
Where were you sent to get the information?
To the high priest.
Then why are you talking to me for? The high priest is in there.
Yeah, he's not talking to us.
Well, of course he's not, because you're out here talking to me. Maybe if you're in there talking to him, he'd be talking to you instead of you talking to me. That hardly makes any sense, does it?
I'm beginning to wonder if you guys really want this guy apprehended, because I'm just getting a runaround from everybody.
I just work for the Smiths Guild. I mean, I understand this is a right bastard that needs to be apprehended, but it's beyond my needs. Whoever hired you to go do it, if he told you to come here to the priesthood to get information, then that's what you should probably do. Just saying.
You're right. Thank you.
When Marlo comes back in, I'm like dangling a bag of 25 gold.
Okay.
And Radovan has his head in his hands.
And the pouch, the brass bowl is like hovering underneath the pouch, like
Yes.
waiting for it to
No,
drop in.
I'm gonna push the gold back over to Kia and say, if you want this man apprehended, please help us.
But I already have.
We were told by the Marshal of the Mountain, Skelmere Dowerstock, that you would tell us where Renan Strongstorm was.
Are you sure
And how to
that's what
get-
he told you?
He did in his very amused.
Those were his words, that I would tell you where he was.
We asked
Said
him
to
for
ask
information.
for further instructions.
Right,
Yes.
that's what I understood.
So
And
you
I
want us
gave
to
them
go?
to you, didn't I?
You
Told
gave
to
us-
To go back to the marshal.
to the marshal. That's right.
When you read this now resealed letter, you were chuckling and you thought it was quite funny. When we were in front of the marshal, he was very insulting about our qualifications. Of course, we did not say this to his face, that it, could be construed as offensive, but he seemed to think very little of us and our capabilities. I get the sense that you, reading this letter, have a similar sentiment regarding us.
Not at all.
Well, then what was so funny in this sealed letter, which we cannot read, because we don't want to break your customs?
What's so funny to me is that such a task will be trusted to people that are not of dwarven kind.
But we are dwarf friends. We have.
Are you? You've been blessed as being friends to the dwarves, have you? You've been before the.
We traveled with Gaffer Ironbeard back
Aye, but
far to the southwest.
You're here in Carvarrick. Have you been before Bargant Ironbeard and been declared dwarven friends?
That is
Or is that
exactly
what
what
you're
we're
doing?
doing this quest for.
Right. So perhaps instead of worrying about what it is that your human minds worry about, if you want to be a friend of a dwarf, maybe you should learn how to think like a dwarf.
Well, tell us how to think like a
If
dwarf.
you have to
Money.
be told, then well,
Money, Radovan. They love money.
No, they love jewels and wealth and
we like wealth of all kinds. But what?
Yes.
Pray tell, what chapel or temple to any god, except for a very few, does not appreciate those that
I will-
appreciate it?
I will tell you that the Cuthbertine Church cares more for travel and setting the laws
Right,
in
right.
order than donations of gold.
Right, but
I'm not saying they
when you
don't
have your
accept
services,
donations.
do you not put out the offering baskets? Because of course you have poor to feed and the sick to clothe, and as do we.
The Cuthbertines, we are more travelers. We
Aye.
move and do our
And
services.
if you think that St.
Fair
Cuthbert
enough.
is but
I'm gonna drop the 25 gold in there. Just get
Okay.
it over with.
Right, he like takes it and smiles and grins and chuckles to himself as he pours the money
God.
into the bowl and says, "The blessings of Dumathoin be upon you." Oh, and before you leave to go see the Marshal of the Mountain again, I recommend you go see the runesmith, Lunric Thordane. Present him the scroll and see what he has to say.
He's gonna want money
The
too.
runesmith Loneric.
No, Lunric Thordane. Lunric Thordane, the runesmith. Oh yes, I'm sure you passed his establishment as you travelled down the main street towards my establishment here.
I got it. So basically what this is he's going to look at it, seal the letter, and probably tell us another name, and we're going to go to all of the castes or the guilds that exist in the city.
I cannot propose to confess what Lundric Thordane may or may not say. I am not he. But I can tell you, I truly know all of Caravalic appreciates your kind donation to the Church of Dumathoin.
Right.
His blessings be upon you as you venture into the mountains, into the cold. May his guidance watch over you, as I'm sure will St. Cuthbert's here in this inhospitable terrain.
So, we will go. Do you suggest we go see the runesmith first, or return to the marshal of the mountain first?
Definitely.
Which one
go
first?
See the runesmith. Go see the runesmith, Lunric Thordain. See him first.
Very
If
well.
you see him, you may not need to go and see the marshal of the mountain a second time. Under
I see.
our new circumstances.
And where might we find him?
Oh, just head back down the main street. You'll see an establishment
God.
with a strange arcane symbol hanging from a flag. He's one of the first ones as you come through the gates.
Great.
He'd be on
Thank
your
you.
right as you come through, but be on your left as you're going back.
Thank you.
But,
Thank you.
I will tell you this. He's, what time is it? Almost lunchtime, yes. He's more than likely going to be found at lunch in the Deep Delve Inn. So perhaps if you
So right where
loiter
we
in that
started.
establishment around lunchtime, you probably meet him. I recommend you perhaps buy him lunch and hand him the scroll to make a favourable impression. He's quite a queer sod.
We will do just that. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm gonna give a curt nod, like a frustrated, like.
All right. He's like, and good luck bringing himself back to justice. And did you know?
Like a big guy.
Oh, you could say that. Yes, Ranan Stronglestorum. He's a weighty fellow, to be sure. The blessings are upon you. The mountain shines beneath your feet, offering you a sturdy passage.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna nod respectfully and just turn around and walk the hell out of there.
So while you were doing that, Marlowe was going back to the pub to find the marshal. Okay.
Oh shit.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. The deep delve in. Okay.
Yeah, the dwarven shakedown.
Shake down, shake down. All right. Well, when you get to the establishment, Marlowe, let's go ahead and put you there, and we'll move everybody there just because we're all going back there. All right. He is not currently there, I'm afraid.
Of course he's fucking not. Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the bar
Alrighty.
and ask good old Honor Forge here where I might find the Marshal of the Mountain if he's not here.
Well, if he's not here, then probably either he's at the Great Hall, at the barracks, or patrolling the town. City, as it were.
Alright.
He doesn't usually
Thank
come
you.
in till late evening. The only reason he was here early was because I understand he was planning to meet you.
Right. We were told to come back and speak with him again, so that's why I'm looking for him.
Ah, well, perhaps he'll be by this evening then.
Alright, thank you, sir. I'm gonna leave and
Okay.
walk about the town looking for the
Try to see if
the
you-
barracks. Go to the barracks first, and before I try the Great Hall.
Okay, alright. Alright. Meanwhile, so Marlowe is doing that, and you three were going back here, right?
Yes.
Around lunchtime, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you arrive back in the establishment, kind of glance around. What does the runesmith look like? Maybe one of these people is the runesmith. Maybe he's not.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and say hello, hello, Honored Forge.
Ah, our friends from out of town.
We are looking for the runesmith, Lunric Fordain.
He's not here yet, but he shouldn't be long.
Well, when he arrives, can you point him out to us, please?
Oh, yes, but, shouldn't need much pointing out. Look for the fellow with the bright orange and red robes, covered from head to toe in the runes.
Thank you. And I'm just going to sit at the table nearest the door and have my eye at the door.
All right. It's little more than about 15 minutes before a similarly dressed individual steps through.
I'm gonna like chime in and say, Lunark Verdane, do you have a moment, please? We will
Without
buy
saying
you
anything, he
lunch.
wanders over.
We will buy you lunch for this inconvenience, if it is in fact that. Whatever you want, like. Beecham, do you mind?
No, not at all. What would you, the usual, please? The usual, Carthel, if I may? Not at all, Thanen, don't worry. Or Lundrick. You have need of a runesmith, do you?
We have... Kia, go ahead.
I'm gonna just hand him the scroll. This is from the marshal to the high priest, now to you, for the apprehendance of...
There's the seal
Yes.
of Dumathorn on it.
And I'm going to be doing an insight check to gauge his reaction as he reads those words, whatever that is.
Well, you see him kind of like unroll it, and then you see him take his eyepiece from one side and put it on the other side.
Oh, really? Well, yes, indeed. You must be held in reasonably high regard by the Dumathorian church. Is this correct?
Honestly, we do not know. We have not read that letter. We were told not to.
No.
We do not know it. We do not
Under
know.
the circumstances, I can see why, yes. Well, I will need to hold on to this until this afternoon.
Why's
Then I'll
that?
bring it back to you.
Anything we need to do in the interim?
Oh, just probably sit here and wait and enjoy your afternoon. And I will bring it to you as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
You can forego the lunch. I'll take it later.
But keep in mind, it's still on us, of course. And your dinner.
Oh, no, by all means, pay Carthel for it. But I'll be back in a few hours. Have something to do, you see.
Very well.
Does he have one eye?
He has two, but it seems like his left eye is very like squinty and lazy. So,
Okay, is he super old?
he's pretty old. Yeah, I mean, however old a dwarf is, it's hard to gauge, but he's old for a dwarf.
Okay, we'll be here.
With that, he heads out the door.
Beecham, well, how about you go just see where he goes?
You mean you want me to follow him?
Yeah, just
No.
Not the
We'll
first
have
time
Cal
I've done
follow.
it. By all means.
Oh, you'll do it? Okay.
Of course, yes.
I'll send Cal with you then, just as backup.
Okay.
What's wrong with Cal?
Nothing, just not used to working with
Just
a
a
cat
cute
lizard.
Don't call him a cat lizard. He doesn't like that.
I'm sorry, I don't really quite know what to call him. Cal, yes,
Call him Cal, his name.
fine, yes, come on then, Cal, we'll, go follow this
just
ancient dwarf, shall we?
learn what you can. Come back if it looks like he's about to come back here. You know,
Okay.
so we're preempted.
Alright.
I'm gonna have my head in my hands like a Kia.
This is so stupid, Redovan. All of it. Do you think they're
Alright,
just
so
playing
Marlowe
us?
is traipsing around the city. You finally find the barracks are the two buildings behind the primary hall, which would be, they have a black flag hanging from them, and they are on either side of the street. So, yeah, you find the barracks.
I guess I'm gonna... I don't know if it's something I need to knock or if I can just poke my head in.
Your choice, really.
I'm just gonna poke my head in then.
Oh, you're going to the north or the south building?
Oh, they're both the barracks?
They are, yeah. It's like 2 buildings.
Let's go north first.
All right.
I love the idea of like a monk just poking her head in like, an institution of war and saying, "What's going on?"
What's up, man? All right, okay. You open the door, and basically it's little more than a military-esque type building. There are rows and rows. It's all open. Basically, it's a massive open hall with just like 6 different rows of beds. Each bed has a small chest at the base of it. Each bed has a small weapons rack to the side of it. Glancing around, it probably could hold 80 dwarves, all in all. There are a bunch of them in here. Some of them are sitting on their bunks and just seem to be playing some strange dice game. Some of them are drinking, some of them are polishing, but generally speaking, they just seem to be like off-duty, either military or guard or some form of official watchman. They just kind of look at you as you poke your head in. None of them really bat an eyelid. They just carry on doing what they're doing.
Hale, I'm sorry, have you seen the Marshal of the Mountain today?
Not since first thing this morning, miss.
Alright, thank you. I'm just looking for him, to ask about a task that he put me to. Thank you.
He's probably at the Great Hall, consulting with his lord.
Oh.
Alright. I'm gonna duck out and I'm gonna head to the Great Hall.
Alrighty, that will be this huge building right here. Okay. As soon as you arrive there, you can see several very large, ornately dressed armored dwarves. There's like 6 of them standing in a row in front of these huge, ginormous, ornate walled, ornate arched doorways.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk up, but I'm not gonna go past them or attempt to go past them, but I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna kneel in front of them, just kneel down on my knees and fold my hands together and wait.
Okay. They kind of look at you and just, as soon as you've made no attempt to actually approach them, they really kind of just stare at you a little bit, look at each other, but none of them usher you away and none of them speak to you. They just kind of like watch you step down.
I'm just gonna sit there and wait for the Marshal to come out.
Alrighty. Meanwhile...
Marlowe's adventures.
The adventures of Marlowe. Hey,
I want to make a theme song for that now.
Right. Back at the Deep Delvin Inn, late that afternoon, the elderly man comes back in. As he walks in, he raises a hand. He says, "I'll take my lunch now, Kerfell." And immediately, you see the tavern keeper go to work preparing lunch for this guy. He walks over and he hands you back the scroll.
Is it sealed?
Yep. With a different seal, of course.
I'm gonna hand it to Kia.
He says, "You'll be needing this. Now, need I remind you, it'll be a grave offense should you break the seal belonging to the Marshal of the Mountain. But nonetheless, you must take this scroll and take it to the person that you seek, you see. You are looking to find, from what I understand, the oath breaker himself, Rannan Strongstarm."
Yes.
That's correct, yes.
You will need this document to apprehend him and bring him back here. But mark my words, now, as to where you can find Rannan Strongstarm, you'll need to get this information from the Marshal of the Mountain.
Oh my god.
I see. And Is there a reason why we were then sent to the priest and then you,
Of
when we
course there
started
was a
with
reason.
him?
Absolutely, there was a reason.
Can you share possibly some insight so we don't feel like we're just
No,
walking around with our
it
heads
doesn't
cut
matter.
off?
It doesn't matter. Just do as you're told now, and go find the marshal, and present him back with the scroll. Let him know that you've consulted with the priesthood, and that the priesthood, mind, specifically, the priesthood sent you to the runesmith, and that the runesmith, after resealing with his own seal, has sent you back to the marshal.
I see.
Where would he be right now?
Right now, quite honestly, I do not keep up with the comings and goings of such types of people. His militaristic fashions do not really pertain to me. But, find him you must. And he can tell you where to find this Oathbreaker.
Very well.
I
Then
understand
thank you.
that these ways maybe seem very strange to you, but, not so much for those of dwarven kind.
It's not the customs. I have dealt with many official documents in the last year alone. It's more just the reaction people seem to have you regarding us at this junction.
Well,
It's
you must
making me a
understand,
little-
it is rare that we are
I understand. It's
visited
just,
by such strange folk from other kingdoms, other lands.
I understand, and
Please
we will
forgive
present.
our odd ways. They must seem strange to you, I'm sure. Never let it said, though, that the dwarves do not have a sense of humour. So, blessed be, as it were, and,
Have a good day. Thank you.
And he begins to tuck into his lunch.
So I'm just gonna get up and look around for Beecham, and then give Kia like a little curt
Yeah.
like nod, and we're gonna leave. I think.
Right, you see Beecham open the door, and he's like, "I'm awfully sorry, but I." Oh,
Outside.
okay,
I'm gonna follow Beecham outside.
okay. Beecham just says, I was following the individual, and I saw the building that he went into, but I never saw him come out. I must have missed him.
It's okay,
I'm gonna
Beecham.
ask Cal what he saw then. He saw him.
Cal actually pretty much says the same thing. He said he went in and doesn't believe he left, but
What?
they didn't see him get here. And this building here is the building they followed him to.
Huh.
Cal's like, I'm sure he used some kind of magic to trick us and get past us.
Maybe.
I don't trust him. You shouldn't either, Kia. He seems dubious to me.
I'll keep an eye on him. Thank you,
Alright,
Cal.
meanwhile, over at the entrance to the Great Hall, as Marlowe sits on one knee after a good while, the Marshal does indeed come walking out. He sees Marlowe kind of like crouched down there. He stops and pauses and looks for a minute. He walks over and says, did you not understand? You'll not get an audience with his lordship without following our directions.
Oh no, I'm not here to see him. I'm here to see you.
Oh, well, here I am. What can I do for you?
You can be straight with me.
Okay.
We went to the high priest, and he told us to come back to you.
Did he? That's disappointing. Disappointing indeed. Perhaps I misunderstood and misjudged your abilities. Never mind. Well, perhaps you're not the ones that I was willing to, or thought you were.
Do not pay any mind to this Rannon strong sturm apprehension. I'll find someone else to do it.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm gonna go open the scroll that you gave to my friends and see what it says, and I'll see you tonight at the pub. And I'm gonna turn around and walk off.
Alright, he says, if you break my seal on an official document, you do understand you'll never leave the city of Carvarak alive.
Oh, but it's not your seal now. It has the High Priest seal on it, not yours.
I think it's
Can we be
about-
walking up at this point?
No, I think that's a really good cliffhanger. I think Marlowe just gave me my cliffhanger. There you go. That was awesome.
Good job, Marlo. Good job, Marlo.
Good job indeed. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter at Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons and Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Shagget here. On How We Roll, I play Radovan Rainier, War Priest of St. Cuthbert, who just so happened to author a new academic book that's coming soon. It's titled Libido Rectification for the Required Propagation of Arconis' Depleted Men-at-Arms, or more affectionately titled Mandate Number 2 and You. You can follow me on Twitter at @aneb_convos for upcoming book excerpts, just to get the hype going, push up the sales. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Marlo Rayfell, monk and resident badass for How We Roll. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so using @DragonSpooker, or follow my Twitch channel, which I sometimes stream on, twitch.tv/TheDragonSpooker.
Hi, thanks for watching another episode of How We Roll. I am Jane Ivana, and this is my lovely cat, Norman, who really doesn't want to be here right now. You can follow me on Twitter, @Jane on Twitch with a 0. Shh, don't tell him, he doesn't like birds. No. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/Jane Ivana, so you can find me there. And I guess that's all we got. You got something to say? Nope. Peace, suckers. Bye.